Orb. Yeah, that one works. Mari Krombu Weebs. My name is Cole. His name is Mike. His name is Jay. We like anime, and this is episode 154 of AniPro. And on this week's episode, we are doing our mid-season check-in. So to do that, we brought in help because we are incapable of doing
desperately.
A lot of things we do require help for. Our help this week is from the DubTalk podcast, Andrew. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure for having me, guys. Thanks for being here. My name is Andrew, aka Classy Spartan. I'm a member of the DubTalk podcast. We talk about the latest and greatest in anime and English dubs. We say latest and greatest as the big tagline, but it's very much a lot of regular old classics, more recent stuff. It's kind of... Ever since we switched bi-weekly, it's definitely been a lot easier doing that, but... It's definitely a project that's been near and dear to my heart for close to a decade now. We're actually going to be starting a 10th anniversary revisit of a couple of projects soon. Oh, wow. And it's almost the end of the year, so we're going to be working on W Award stuff. So
nice.
I'm actually glad I got to be here for this, because usually this time of the year, I just throw every new seasonal out. Not because I don't want to watch them, but because... for our own personal W Awards, it's like, all right, what's the timeline? Anything that came out from October 1st to September 30th. So all the fall season stuff, usually it's like, all right, are there new dubs here? Are there new shows here? Throw them out. All I have to do is focus on the previous year. I got to keep track of all the stuff I missed, because there's a bunch of stuff. I'll be honest, I actually haven't been doing a lot of seasonals for the past couple of seasons, just because a mix of real life, a mix of the general... Yeah. I like tracking the seasons of anime, but a little less digging into it lately.
Mm-hmm. And being a fellow dub fan, it's always frustrating when a new season starts, and you're like, oh, I want to watch the dub for this. And it's like, oh, the dub doesn't come out for another month. Okay, I just got to watch the sub, I guess.
The fun thing about knowing how this stuff works is... it's always different. It's always different.
Oh, it's always different.
Sometimes it's day and date. For a couple seasons, we've had a couple of them where it's been day and dates. Majority of stuff on Crunchyroll, it's been 2 to 3 weeks apart. High Dive is always kind of inconsistent. Netflix is always a shot in the dark. And then Disney is just...
who knows? They don't know.
They sometimes
do. They even care?
See, I believe the guy and a bunch of the people that produce the dubs do genuinely care, but it's always a matter of dealing with the fact that it's having to explain to people, all right, some people want to do these. Did you know Disney had a day and date simuldub last season?
On which one?
Which one?
I want you to guess, because I'm genuinely curious if you can figure that out.
Oh, what came out last season?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
What's through your Rolodex?
What's last season?
My brain can't remember what I had.
Spring 2024. No, summer 2024.
Summer.
We're already in fall. Oh God.
Oh God. Where'd the year go?
I can see Mike looking. I can see Jay thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm just...
no, Suicide Squad Isekai wasn't same day.
That was HBO too.
And that was HBO.
HBO, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. See, the funny thing is...
Was it Code Geass?
Yes, it was.
Oh, I like this. Our guest comes on, he opens with a quiz. This is great.
Yeah.
It's always Code Geass. Never forget Code Geass.
It's always has been, always will be.
Code Geass, I don't... I'm impressed with that dub. I think it's a cool one. It's just that level of, I am not the biggest Code Geass fan in the world, so I'm just very kind of all right, they're giving it more stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
Look,
okay.
The guy who directed Code Geass went on to go make the world's most popular One Piece movie, so he's doing just fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll be okay. Okay, you came with questions for us. obviously. So I've got questions for you. Just so that our audience kind of gets to know you a little bit better as well. Why don't you let us know like what your top 3 anime are, Andrew?
Interesting. I have not looked at my recent favorites in a little bit, I confess. I don't even trust a lot of my Mal scores anymore. I'm kind of just going off of...
I feel you. Yeah, I feel you.
Your heart, where does your heart take you?
Where does your heart go? Yeah. Some guy on the streets pulls you aside and says, Andrew-sama, what is your top 3 anime? What 3 anime should I watch right now?
This is a mugging.
Now.
I will say
also
2
give me all your money.
things. I will say 3 things, actually. 1, do not call me Andrew-sama. I'm pretty sure you're white as a ghost. B, ew. C, get that knife away from me, you freak. God, I don't know why that order...
question. You gotta...
That order just made me think of the John Mulaney like New in Town. All right, anime. So where my heart currently
get the knife away from me. Okay.
My first one, I will say, one of my favorites, moving emotional series, probably Anohana, the flower we saw that day.
Oh, nice.
Big fan of that one. That's definitely one of those I adore, cool, emotional Mario Kata projects. That is a creative lady. I adore Anohana. I think that's one of her best.
That one holds the place in AniPro lore of being our first review? Question mark? I think.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah, it's our first thing we ever reviewed.
First review?
Our first ever review.
It was the most important one.
Ago.
Yeah.
All right.
Great show though. Great show. If you're listening to this and you haven't watched it, check out Anohana and bring a tissues because you won't cry at the end.
See, the funny thing is, I mentioned Anohana. It's hard to call it a tearjerker. It's like.
I think you said it right. It's emotional.
Yeah.
It is emotional.
It's not
I would
sad.
say Anohana is like a build-up to one big cry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I would say it's not like you are going to go every other episode as like, oh, the tears are just going to flow. No, it's the build-up to that moment.
Yeah. And I mean, that's just how a story goes, right? Like that specific moment is the climax of the show.
I also just recently rewatched A Place Further Than the Universe, which the fact that you only gave me 3 means I had to leave some stuff out. So, but that would probably be somewhere in top 5, top 10.
Okay,
for sure.
Yeah, I'd probably have that in my top 15. Great show.
Recently got a dub too, FYI.
Yes.
Very recently.
That might come up on our podcast later, just saying.
There you go. Tune into the DubTalk.
Not saying anything that hasn't come out, but at the same time, if there is overlap between your audience and my audience, I will be genuinely impressed. I will reward that overlap by saying, yeah, we recorded an episode a couple days ago. Wait for that soon.
Ooh.
How far in advance do you record your episodes, if you don't mind me asking?
It depends. It can be as soon as 2 weeks. It could be as far as like 3-4 months. We very much record show episodes and reviews, and it's like, all right, what's the pipeline need? Which of these have been cooking the longest? Which of these should we release sooner or later? There's one big one we recorded in July that I really hope comes out this month. And yeah, it's very much a bunch of different people, bunch of different shows, editors and all that, where it's like, okay, we moved bi-weekly because at some point weekly with adult lives became unsustainable.
Yeah.
So I honestly, legitimately, I guess you also don't have to really worry about the rotating host thing either. So you're like,
that sounds great and also like a nightmare to organize.
Yeah. We're pretty consistent, the 3 of us.
Yeah. That's why we don't have guests very often, because it's the logistics of it. It's just hard with 3 adults. Never mind 4 adults.
Oh yeah, no, like the fact that like I was like literally planned talking this out with Jay because I'm familiar with Jay online and friends with him for a while. He threw out the idea. I was like, okay, my schedule's... I think he invited me actually for the summer season, and that's why I just told him straight up, okay, I'm looking at my thing right now. I can't do this one. But I have this perfect window in November for the fall one, if you'll have it.
Yeah, no, it worked out perfectly. Yeah. But so we don't get too off track.
All right, favorite
Place
anime.
Further Than the Universe.
Number 2, yes.
Okay, so I will say Place Further Than the Universe is probably an honorary mention. I will say Anohana slightly ahead, but that's very slight. Anohana, Clannad, and Clannad After Story. Because that to me is like the first show that's like very important to me. That I used to be a big, huge action guy. I still like action. I still like that stuff. But that was my first big emotional romance drama series. Okay. And it was a series I got really into when I was 13, 14. It's the show I recommended maybe a dozen friends of mine. And it's like also a bunch of people where it's like, you would never catch them watching this emotional, bug-eyed series about all these cute, crying girls. Oh shit, where did all these tissues come from? Oh no! Oh no! Yeah. I'm hooked! No! Anyways. And then that's how this happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's what happens, yeah.
So that was like you kind of overlapped. You actually put your... sounds like that's kind of like your first love of anime, which is sort of what our follow-up question was going to be, I think. But like, so that kind of reminds me of like Inuyasha for me. That was the one I first like realized, oh, this is anime. That's what that could be. And that sounds like what Clannad is to you. Yeah.
Clannad, I think, if I had to describe it... I just finally thought of what my third favorite anime is. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Good conversation. I will say that I liked a lot of action stuff, a lot of stuff growing up. Toonami was a big one for me. Clannad, I think, was the show that made me fall in love with the possibilities of anime outside of, like, my preconceived teenage notions of it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, anime could be emotional, it could be tear-jerking, it could be more than the cool,
not
big
just buff
explodey
dudes punching
things.
each other.
Yeah.
Anyways, let me follow that with a big explodey thing.
Good.
So Anohana, Clannad, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
Oh, okay.
Gurren Lagann.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great choice.
Gurren Lagann, I love, like I said, I was saying, I love a lot of emotions, I love a lot of romance, but also I can't deny, there was a point of time where I was so out of anime, where I was just like, I can't touch this stuff. I had a big video game period, I was big in the 360 era. Then I found the full season of Gurren Lagann on YouTube, because back then you could watch anime on YouTube. And I was like, oh my god.
What is this?
And then your heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Mm-hmm.
And my drill grew even larger. That's not a reference to what you think. Oh. Okay, it might be a reference to what you think it is. Yeah. But it's not where I was going for. But then when you think about it, a drill is a good metaphor for many things in life.
Yeah.
Yes.
True. Like the indomitable human spirit, for example.
Exactly.
It could be both an indomitable human spirit and a DNA strand and also a penis. That's the great thing about literature and English class.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all of those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say Clannad then was like your first love in anime, or do you like even looking back, like thinking back, like we would have watched Pokemon as kids, like would you say you had something even earlier that was kind of your first anime?
What was your first true anime love type situation where you're like, oh, I like this stuff?
Let me go to that desk over there, because there's
he comes
one
with props.
thing here.
He's got props.
He's got props. Jay, you're on...
Depending on the crowd I'm working with, you're either going to be like, ooh, or you're going to be like, it's boring into my soul. This is the one Funko I own.
Dragon Ball. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got this as a birthday present because this is the childhood. This is the one I grew up with. This is the one I raised on. I am not as in love with it as I used to be, but it's not one of those... It's not because I grew up. I realized it's just, I watched a whole bunch of different things, but even then, I'm still grateful for Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z for being the show that hooked me as a kid, and I was like, oh my god, what is this?
Get out of my head. Get out of my head.
I have those incredibly vivid memories as a kid of like, I think I remember like a photo of me holding like a toy sword as a kid, wearing like a knitted cape that my mom made for me. And I know what I was doing during that photo because I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking like to the corner. And because while my mom was trying to get this cute photo of her child, I mean, Dragon Ball was on. What am I going to do? Not watch it?
Yeah.
No, stop taking that picture.
Yeah, it's like...
Why are you taking this picture of me?
Why are you taking this picture during my cartoons? Yeah. I understand. Memories. Family. Togetherness. We didn't have a DVR back then. When am I going to see this again? Tomorrow?
It's important.
Tomorrow's a different reality.
Tomorrow's Sunday.
That doesn't exist. Yeah.
All right, okay. Let's get down to business. That's enough fun. Now,
brass tacks time.
Fun time's over. Yeah.
Put your suit and tie on. Yeah.
All right, okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the sequels. I'm sorry, the sequels for this season.
Continuing stuff.
Yeah. Stuff that is continuing. Maybe some remakes of stuff. You know, all of that.
You know how it is.
You know how it is. Let's start with ReZero Season 3. Jay, calm down. Relax. I know Amelia has had a redesign this season, but...
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to comment on the redesign,
surgery.
man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have a question.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is Rem even a concept anymore?
Who's
Actually,
Rem?
They've shown her
Rem
already.
is she owns my heart, and that's the concept that revolves around Rem.
Man,
she's having
I kind of just walked into that one, didn't I? All right.
She's a sweet girl who deserves all of the head pats. And
but Cole, who is she?
That's Rem. She's perfect, a sweet angel, literally a feather off an angel's wing, Jay. And if you don't know about her, then I'm sorry.
I legitimately am so far behind on ReZero. I just vaguely know she gets like, I don't know if fridged is the right word.
Things happen.
I like. Does she even? Okay. I don't know any of this. This is all other people's territory. I'm just like, every time I see people talking about ReZero, I'm like, what happened to the character that was literally on every post? Like almost.
What happened to everyone's favorite character in ReZero?
She's still in the show.
Yeah,
Amelia's still in the show.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Jay, why don't you let us know about
Jay, we know this is your show. Is this good? Is it good? Please tell me it's good.
If you're a big ReZero fan, we're back. ReZero, this past season has been so good. This is probably the most threatening season of the three. So like, Subaru has a lot, a big hill to overcome, and it does seem pretty dire, but it's fun.
It's been gruesome so far. Holy
it's uncensored, gruesome, and just as gory and dark as season 1 was.
I think I've watched the first 3 episodes, and it's been good, but it's just kind of on the back burner for me right now. Like, my bandwidth is just not keeping up with ReZero, and I know it'll be there. Like, I'll binge it for sure, and hate myself for binging ReZero because that's an awful idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
It feels like if you want to binge it, you have an incredible amount of material to go through, and it's like, all right, do I want something cute or do I want something to stab me in the throat today?
Yeah, it's like choosing to be stabbed repeatedly is the problem.
How about something cute and something that stabs me in the throat? May I introduce you to Rem, best girl?
I don't know who that is.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, well, but are we continuing?
ReZero,
sorry.
Absolutely. I think the one downside to this season is that allegedly it's only getting 8 episodes this season, and then the latter 8 are going to be in January.
8?
Yeah.
There's going to be 16 episodes?
To be fair, it also opened on a movie.
It did.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah, it
The
was
first
3
episode. Yeah, the first episode.
It's like everybody forgets, like,
4 or
why
5
is it
episodes?
only 8? And then people forget that the 8 episodes can sometimes be, like, 1 to the 3rd power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. I forgot about that the first episode was an hour and a half, I think.
Hour and a half.
45
so
minutes,
that's-
No, it was 90 minutes. Yeah,
it was an hour and a half.
It's an hour and a half, Jay.
Yeah.
That's how time
Look,
works,
man.
Jay.
Look, man, I've got a lot swimming around my brain right now. Can't do math.
You're gifted in other ways, Jay, and I'm proud of you. All right, let's talk about everyone's favorite slideshow presentation, Blue Lock Season 2. Do you like soccer? Do you like
let me tell you something,
characters who
Cole.
can't move?
Okay.
I have a coworker. This is the coworker who's been like obsessed with Blue Lock. It's literally the thing that got him into anime, I'd say. It's the thing that got him into manga too, because he finished the first season. He was like, I have to know what happens, and he read the whole manga.
Yeah.
And I talked with him today about Blue Lock Season 2, and we
Is
both
he
were
okay?
like, man,
He's not okay.
it's tough. He's like, I don't think I can watch it. He's like, I can't. It's just, I read the manga, and the manga is great. And then the anime is just like basically the manga panel with like lines drawn around it for like emphasis. And it's just
Yeah,
like,
so
it's a
here's the
slideshow.
fun
It's
thing
tough.
about the anime industry right now is there is a lot going on every season, and you think if that's a lot of work for you guys to talk about it while you're on a podcast talking about it,
Yes.
there's not enough supply for that demand, just saying.
No.
And you never know when it's going to hit. You always assume that it's going to hit on the shows where it's like the 12 isekai, where it's like, my childhood friend can't possibly be this elf girl that's possibly going to become the demon lord and also my future fiance adulterer.
I love
or
that
something.
show.
I don't know.
Great
I
show.
love that show.
Airing
I
next
love
season on
each episode in
Crunchyroll.
that show.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
airing next
Each
season on
episode is
Crunchyroll, and it's somehow the 3rd most popular show, despite the fact that you don't know anybody talking about it.
It's rated a 95 on AniList somehow. Hasn't come out yet.
So let me talk
Speaking
about
of third most popular show, Blue Lock.
Let me talk
is the
about
third
Blue
most
Lock for
popular
a
show this
second,
season.
because Blue Lock's fascinating. Because Blue Lock is one of those things where you would assume the most popular manga in Japan last year would not suffer this kind of treatment. You would assume that, but the reality is, if the producers want things out at a certain time,
Yeah.
and they don't care when it's gonna come out because this is the big season. It's the big holiday season. We got the merch and we got the those sponsors. I don't care. Just put it out. They're gonna eat it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And I mean,
not- I hear that.
To give it a little bit of credit, I like people dog on season 2 as if season 1 was like this grand masterpiece in animation,
Fine.
which like
I would say that season 1, quality-wise, let's say 10-point scale. Let's say at the best, Blue Lock's visual prowess was somewhere between like a 6.5, maybe a 7.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Not
fair.
the grand... Like, people forget, the second half looked kind of rough, but people kind of forgot because it looked just fine enough for people to forget about the fact that it's like, okay, you know what? This is still pretty hype. And in reality, the way I pitch Blue Lock to people, I don't actually really pitch it as, like, a sports anime. I also don't pitch it as, like... No.
Yeah.
No. It's not a death game. You know what it is? It's a reality competition series. Blue Lock is Hell's Kitchen.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how I pitch it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like, it's not a death game because, like, I would be like, death games, it's edgy, but it's like, it's hard to make it super edgy because nobody's literally dying, even though there's literally flamboyant Hisoka right here in a Hannibal Lecter mask, which...
What worse fate could happen to someone than not being allowed to play soccer anymore?
Yeah.
I'd rather die.
No, he gets to play soccer. He gets stolen to play soccer for the other team. So it's sports NTR, which I haven't even talked about Rayo yet. They made a whole movie about what is basically just sports NTR. Look, people are like, stop trying to make things gay. Were you like one of those filthy Fujoshi? You look at Reo Mikagi getting abandoned by his childhood friend Boy Toy for hotter piece of meat and being like, there's a heterosexual explanation for this.
Yeah, okay, we're back. We're so back.
We're back.
Sorry, I didn't know that I did not know the homoerotic tension was going to be so high that it would break my internet.
That's right.
Well,
that's
we should have seen that coming. No, the problem with Blue Lock is like not only is the animation like subpar, but it's like comically bad. Like I saw a scene where it was basically characters standing there, and the only thing that was moving was like a PNG of a ball, essentially moving between people's feet. Like
they kind of took it from. Andrew said like a 6 to 7 and made it like a 5 or like a 4.
Oh, worse than
that's 4 at worst, bordering on 3. I'll say this: the second episode of the season was the worst one. The third one was slightly better, not by much, but it dips to a 3 in the one that got infamous. I will say that.
Yeah.
I also was reminded they did announce a movie in the same year that season 2 came out, did they not?
Yeah.
They kind of rushed it.
And half of that movie was just true. Season 1 recap.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't even see it, to be honest with you.
It's the Blue Lock from Nagi's point of view. And Nagi and
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on from
we got a lot to get to.
Soccer Boys.
It's still fun to watch, I'll say that.
Yeah.
It is.
Let's talk about Shangri-La Frontier Season 2. Has this show been going for like 1 million years? Does it ever end?
So, I believe Shangri-La this came out last fall.
Mm-hmm.
This came out last fall.
Has it stopped?
Yes.
So, yeah.
I think it's basically stopped for the spring and summer seasons. So
pretty much.
Took 2 cores off, came back, and it's like, we need to get more out. And honestly, it's been, I watched a couple episodes of it. It's been essentially the same, like it literally, and it basically, because like it has all the same staff and everything, but like it literally didn't miss a beat. You could literally, it's like they just took a break and then got right back into it. Nothing has changed. It's all animated.
It's like this
really
podcast.
Well.
Yeah. Just take a little break.
Just take a little break.
The episode.
Yeah. It's like we described it last week. It's better SAO.
Yeah.
I do really want to check it out. It has been on my radar, and everybody I talk about it has been like, "Oh, this is so really good."
Yeah, it is really good. I think like we do compare it to SAO. Andrew, I think you might have you seen Log Horizon?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of living in the database.
Okay.
Struggling in the database.
So I'd say it's most comparable to Log Horizon, where like it feels like a genuine video game.
Mm-hmm.
Strong sales pitch.
Yeah, if you like gaming at all, it's like by far the best video game anime I've seen from the aspect of like being a game I want to play.
It also feels like the author understands the appeal of games instead of just being like. 100%. There's authors that like the aesthetic. People like the aesthetic of games, understanding the mechanics of games.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, gaming aesthetic is fine, but the mechanics are like the freaks, the people that are willing to do an 80% run of Dark Souls on a Guitar Hero controller because they're freaks.
And that's like what the main character of Shangri-La is he's like the guy who would do that because he only plays like bad games, and he plays like the AAA premium game, and he's like, oh, I can like literally do anything in this.
He's basically, from my understanding, the protagonist of The World God Only Knows, except instead of being a guy who plays dating sims, he's a guy who plays like MMO, Final Fantasy 14, and Dark Souls.
Kind of?
Yeah.
He plays like he likes playing like bad MMOs.
The Kusoge.
Yeah.
Which is just a fun
he's also got a
to
bird's
say.
head for a head, which is
He also does have a
concerning.
bird for a head. Yeah.
That's
I
do like I do like the fact that he just seems to have fun with his character, where he's like, I just want to make my guy run around with underwear and a bird head because
is literally why he did it. Yeah, that's
well,
great.
there is like story to like why he doesn't wear more than just like a bird head.
Doesn't matter, Jay.
But
Doesn't
like,
matter. It's funny.
Yeah,
it's funny.
I think sometimes all you need is just it's funny, because I feel like if you complicate the reasons for why your character looks like a thing, that's how you end up with Gale Online, more on that later, where you have an actual mechanic where you select the game and you have a randomized avatar in an MMORPG, which is the kind of malarkey reason that they needed Kirito to look like a girl this season.
Yeah. Yeah, but he still looked like Kirito, but like female, whatever. Who cares? Let's talk about Dragon Ball DAIMA.
Yes.
Let's talk about a good show.
Yeah.
The only reason I didn't get around to this one was because I was trying to get a couple episodes of a couple other things, but I do like everything I have heard about DAIMA.
So I'm current on it. And Cole, have you checked it out too?
Yep. I'm current on it too.
Oh man, it's such a great idea, and I won't stand for anyone who says, "Oh, it's just GT again." Listen, GT is different. It was bad.
Yeah, you wouldn't get it.
This is animated amazingly. It's got the concept of making them all kids, so the playing ground is level, is such a great one, and like you get rid of all like the Super Saiyan power scaling mumbo jumbo, and you just get back to like just a fun action anime with like a really likable protagonist. It's just
it's also just kind of nice that they like did this before you introduce Battle of Gods era Dragon Ball Z in there, so you don't have the Technicolor Saiyans. So it's pretty.
Yeah, it's like a mid-quel.
Yeah, this sounds like Akira Toriyama when I'm just kind of done with all this like stupid bullshit. He's over the top powers. He's like,
I just want to get back to what else do you want?
I just want to get back to writing Dr. Slump, but with superpowers.
Basically, he even brought back like from the old Dragon. Like it's clearly he's like, I want to make old Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball Super. I want to make Dragon Ball.
He's got the pole.
He's got the pole.
Got the pole.
Yeah.
I think it's like a pretty interesting like setup in the fact that my buddy who's reviewing it for ANN opened one of the episodes. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna say it. Daima's an isekai.
Kinda.
Yeah. It's like I love the idea of, rather than like the power escalation that Dragon Ball is, for better or worse, known for, like make your characters weaker. It's great. They haven't done it, and so far, really liking it. Yeah, having a good time.
Yeah, fun cast of characters, and as Toriyama's final Dragon Ball work, it seems like he put a lot of labor and love into this one, and I can't wait to really sink my teeth into it.
Yeah.
And I think you can. I think probably by the time this airs, you will be able to watch it. But it's in theaters actually, like right when this airs, I think.
Yeah, I saw that they're doing an early theatrical run of the first couple episodes of the dub. I may or may not go. If it's near me, I might give it a try. Otherwise, I'll probably wait for what I'm guessing is either going to be Toonami or it's just going to go up on Crunchyroll. They're not going to make it so you can't watch it.
Are they Are they just gonna pitch Sean Schimmel's voice up? Like,
it's not.
No, they have confirmed that actually it is.
It's Youngo.
Surprisingly, Stephanie Nadoli is back to play Goku, and that actually is notable for the fact that for the past 15 years, it has not been her playing Goku. It has been Colleen Klinkenbeard who's been playing Goku in all the extended spin-offs, flashbacks, what have it.
So and she was she like the Gohan.
She originated the character of Kid Goku in the early Funimation 2000s era and all that.
Nice.
So yeah.
Okay. I'm into it. I like that. Little legacy.
You guys are going to continue it, I assume?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Just fun. Little stakes, having a good time.
Yeah.
You know what else is fun?
What's that?
Surprisingly fun. I'm having a blast watching Ranma 1/2. Like,
it's a crime we didn't draft this show. It's a crime.
So
truly,
I wanted to check this one out because I very much, like, I never grew up with Ranma. I know people who did, and they're like, this was one of my favorite shows growing up. I know for some people it's very much the one that, like, got them into romance, got them into comedies. Would not surprise me if it cracked a couple of eggs in the people I know, just saying. See, it is a show literally about gender fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And, like, the animation in it is terrific. It's got an absolute...
Mappa things.
It's got an absolute bop of an OP and DD. Yeah, just great. Good stuff all around.
So nice.
Yeah, we are truly fools for not drafting it. Truly. We are. We should quit this.
The other thing with this that I really am enjoying, too, is that it's just, like, it's more... Like, Urusei Yatsura, I feel like you have to compare it because it's Rumiko Takahashi. It just came out, just finished airing. Like, that felt dated, even though it looked really nice. This, to me, doesn't feel as dated. Like, it feels like this could come out today and still be successful. Like, there's more of a story to it. There's more plot to follow. It's more of an interesting premise. I'm really enjoying it, honestly. And again, this one is being simul-dubbed, same-day dub on Netflix, I believe. So
yes, actually. That one, I was like, wow, that's a genuine surprise, too. And
I know
that's a pretty interesting dub, because I was very curious what they were going to do with that one in particular. Was it going to be a whole new cast, or was it going to be trying to get a mix of old and new? It seems like, for the most part, it is a pretty much completely new cast. So it's not a Canadian dub anymore, which I know some people are a little bummed about, but the cast in that is pretty interesting.
We got to work, too. Us Canadians got to work, too.
I like a couple of Canadian dubs.
It's good.
There's one I actually got to check out. Did any of you check out Dead Demons Destruction?
Oh, Cole awakes.
Cole's awake.
I'm here. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi. How are you doing?
Okay. So that had a dub that was produced in Canada. And I hear from friends of people I very much trust that it was a very good one, in fact.
How about that?
You know what? I don't think Canadians have ever done anything wrong, eh?
I don't think Canadians have done anything right.
Whoa. You're a hoser, bud. You're a hoser. Go back to
As the dub guy, I can at least confirm some previous credits of at least the main characters, because I looked into some of them that I figured would be interesting.
Yeah.
So I didn't do the whole cast because there's not enough time and I only have so much patience.
Yeah.
So I got the Ranmas and the leading lady, Akane Tendo.
Okay.
So the voice of Akane Tendo is Valeria Rodriguez, who a couple of credits of theirs in the past have been Perona from To Your Eternity, Sucrose in Genshin Impact, Strawberry Crepe Cookie in Cookie Run Kingdom, and, to my genuine surprise, a new Overwatch 2 hero named Venture.
So they're also 24, born in 2000, so they're basically a new face of the game.
Oh, there are people that are younger than me that are, like, doing really well in the game right now.
For sure.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, that's good. Makes me feel elderly and tired.
No, I get that. I get that.
Cole just turns to dust and blows away.
So, it's going to happen one of these episodes.
Yeah.
So male and female Ranma are David Arago Jr. and Susie Young. David Arago does not do a whole lot of anime, but he's done a lot of, like, animation and video games. Did anybody ever watch the new My Adventures with Superman show?
JOA.
Yes. I did.
Okay, do you remember the episode with Mr. Mixopinalyxis?
The guy who has a thing when you say his name backwards or whatever?
Yes, he's got the thing when you say his name backward, and in that show he looks like an alien Catboy.
Yes.
Male Ranma plays that guy, and he has also played Gustav in Shin Megami Tensei 5, Sven in Lord Elmaloy II's Case Files, and is the current voice of Ferb in Phineas and Ferb.
Okay.
Interesting.
And Susie Young has done a whole lot of these.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't say the same about Susie Young. She's been in everything.
She has been Fuka Yamagishi in Persona 3 Reload, Yuffie Kitsuragi in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Makima in Chainsaw Man, and Vladilena Milize, a.k.a. Lena, in 86.
Yeah. I saw that smile crack Jay's face at the mention of his princess.
Yeah. She's not best girl in that show.
He's blushing.
I think I got her to sign a print of Lena lying around here somewhere.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, she's a really good voice actor, too. I really like... Honestly, I think every dub she's been in, she's been pretty great. Yeah.
The craziest fun fact I could offer that's like sort of like an insane fun fact is... I think she was in the graduating class with my girlfriend.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was a fun fact. Nice. I was like... Yeah, I found that out. I was like, no way. I think we discovered that on the first episode where she starred in a dub on DubTalk. I think her first like major anime role was a little thing called Kimono Friends.
Okay. I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
No reason why I've heard of that one.
But a couple other names in that dub.
Let's talk about...
I was going to throw out Fred Tatascore.
Go ahead.
As Ranma's dad, Akane's dad is J. Michael Tatum, and her sisters are Laura Post and Stephanie Shea. And yeah, it's a pretty interesting cast and ensemble. That show's a ton of fun. It's kind of darling to see Rumiko Takahashi's style in modern day, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's also like this series is also like one of the mothers of the harem genre. So like seeing that in the modern day is also just really nice.
Love it that they like set it in the 80s too. Like it's set. They didn't modernize it.
Yeah, because like in Ursa Yatsura they did. Like I remember like in the OP.
I think
the main
it was
character
just the OP.
Was it just the OP?
Yes, it was, because the OP is a dream, which basically the dream is kind of like the modernized things, and then he wakes up, and that's how you get the corded phones and all that of the olden days.
I also like how when the characters are surprised, they go like this.
Yeah.
Which is just, why do they do that?
The classic Rumiko Takahashi pose.
Because it's funny.
No. Okay, let's talk about Sword Art Online, Gun Gale Online, Season 2. I haven't watched this yet, so I don't have much to say about it. Now, Mike...
We'll watch it at some point, but I'm not caught up on it yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will watch it, but Mike...
Before you guys poop on this show, I've checked
Listen,
it out.
I wouldn't touch this show with a 10-foot pole. Mike,
look, man, I didn't even know this show was... No, I'm kidding.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Anyway, I watched a couple episodes. Again, kind of like what I said with Shangri-La. This one's more uncanny, though, because there's been a big gap here. But it really just kind of picks up where it left off, honestly. But I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a lot of fun. All the characters are doing the things you'd expect them to. And, like, the kind of fun thing is they made it... So there's the Gun Jam, I think it's called. I forget what the heck the name of the tournament they play
in. It's Gun Jam, yeah.
The first season. Gun Jam, yeah. And... basically they're like, oh, there's Gun Jam 3 coming out, but we're all super rusty because we haven't played the game in a while. And like you kind of identify with that a little bit as a person watching because you're like, oh, that's cool. I haven't watched the show in a while either.
It's meta.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm just thankful that Reki Kawahara's work was picked up by like an actually good author.
Yeah. It's
so, you mean the Kino's Journey author, yeah.
Yeah.
Which the Kino's Journey author realized they wanted to add two things to the story of SAO. A, they're just absolute ginormous Guntaku obsession. Like, they are just, you can tell that they are like a gun freak. B, Toxic Yuri. I've seen the first season. I've seen the first season of Gun Gale Online. That is some good Toxic Yuri.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I honestly, I totally forget most of the first season.
It's been a long time.
Their duel ends. The duel ends with her ripping her virtual throat out like she's the rabbit from Spamalot. That's true. That's legit.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
I got a fun voice actor fact for this one too. They did.
Yeah.
Mike's got Mike's got a
voice
voice
actor fact. Yeah, voice actor fact for this one. The ED of this anime is sung by the Japanese voice actor of Len, the girl in the pink.
Oh, very
interesting.
nice.
It's actually kind of nice. Yeah, it's a nice ED too. So, yeah, I always appreciate that when the voice actor sings the OP or the ED. That's kind of a cool little bit.
That's like dead demons, dead destruction.
Yes.
Yeah. Wasn't Anno one of the voices in Japanese?
Yes, it's so good.
Oh, and she also did she did one of the songs for Ranma. So bringing that back.
She does the OP. You know who the other lead in Dead Demons was? Is the lead singer from Yawasobi.
Really? I did not know that actually. That's cool.
So crazy to me that they just went nuts and just picked random people. Basically.
So of course they would do the OP and the ED. Yeah. Mike. Well, no, sorry, I don't want to skip this one because it's very important and it's something I've definitely heard of. One Piece fan letter.
Yes.
What is this?
I included this one in our list just because I wanted to gush about it a little bit.
Okay. Gush away.
So basically they just I forget what the pretext was for doing this, but they just put out this little one episode, 25-minute episode. It's called One Piece Fan Letter. And it takes place basically during 3D, right as the pirates are getting back together in Sabaody Archipelago. And
yeah, totally. I definitely know what that is.
It's like this. It follows these pirates or these just ordinary people who are all just kind of big fans. You're each big fans of one of the Straw Hats, and they're trying to get a glimpse of them as they're reuniting finally. And it's just such a heartwarming little story, and it's animated. It's one of the best animated things you can possibly watch. So I wanted to include this here just to say, if you like One Piece at all, and you want to spend 25 minutes of your life just in pure bliss and joy, and maybe leave with a tear coming out of your eye at the end, check out One Piece Fan Letter.
I think it was done for One Piece's anniversary, wasn't it?
I think it's for the 25th anniversary.
It was a mix of right before they went on the 6-month break by doing a recut, revisualization of the Fishman Island arc.
Okay. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Is it what studio did it? Is it Toei?
It's still Toei. It's always Toei.
Yeah, still Toei.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only time it's not Toei is when it's the.
Yeah. So I thought maybe they're trying something. So whatever. Yeah. One Piece fan letter. Are you going to continue it, Mike?
Yes, I'm going to continue it because I have an interesting little fact to tell you about this one.
Okay, Mike with the facts today too.
Not only do I think it's incredible, but in fact, it is currently the number 2 highest rated anime. This one ever on AniList.
Oh, really?
Sitting at a 91%.
That's right.
Is it
that
good?
does sound about right. It seems
Mike, be objective.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Isn't this also directed by the person that did the really good new OP and a bunch of other good episodes of One Piece too?
It could be. It kind of has that art style to it.
They do.
I forget her name. I think it's
Megami Ishitani.
Yes, it is Megami Ishitani. Yeah, she's been kind of a superstar there.
Yes.
Mike, do you like cars?
I love cars.
Jay,
do
you
vroom,
like
vroom.
fast cars?
Sorry.
Andrew, do you like driving recklessly up and down mountains? It's Mother Ghost Season 2. Mike, have you...
Okay, good. I'm glad somebody else calls it Mother Ghost. Because every time I see the title MF Ghost, Mother Ghost. It's Mother Ghost. Mother Ghost.
Yeah.
Mother Ghost. Anyways, I hope I have broken the record of the most F-bombs from a guest on the AniPro podcast.
You certainly have.
Period.
Yeah.
Yes. Cole's bleep button is going to be working overtime this episode.
Sorry, Cole.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No, it's okay.
I'm not.
It's okay.
Mother Ghost Season 2 has been great. It's the same show continued. There's Eurobeats. There's fast cars driving fast. They drove in the goddamn rain. It's
God, so reckless and dangerous of them to drive in the rain.
There was a whole dialogue between 2 characters where one of them was they're like, how is he driving so fast? And he's like, I don't know. He shouldn't be able to keep up with them because he has a NA 2.0 engine in his Toyota 86. And they're like, what does NA mean? NA means naturally aspirated. It means his engine's underpowered because all the other vehicles have some form of forced induction on their cars. If you like cars, watch this damn show. It's a lot of fun.
But how did he keep up? How did he actually keep up, Mike? Just the power?
It's because he learned from the initial D guy how to drift extra good. So he doesn't slow down when he drifts somehow, and he can turn better,
Okay.
I think is the canonical reason.
I find driving to work.
I find it really interesting. I find it really interesting that you memorized that entire dialogue of of why that guy was.
It's stood out to me because I was like, the weirdest part of this is like, okay, the person watching this show knows stuff about cars probably. They know this. They know this stuff.
They either know it or they know that the people watching this show don't know anything and can make up whatever the hell they want.
That's kind of how the end of Food Wars worked when you think about it. They lost their food consultant, and then it's like, all right, nobody can tell me you can't cook a fine steak with a live chainsaw. You! Cancel me!
Yeah.
And that's how Food Wars got bad.
Yeah.
Well, in the next season of MF Ghost, they're going to be driving on the moon with their naturally aspirated vehicles.
No,
I have one
question. Have to be supercharged.
I'm sorry. Naturally aspirated sounds so fake. I know it's probably real, but that sounds so fake.
It's all made up. Everything is.
Yeah. Everything's made up.
What about forced induction?
No, that's real.
I think that sounds inappropriate. That sounds like that needs to be bleeped out by your bleep guy.
Okay. Yeah. Cole, get on that.
Yeah.
See, personally, I'm more about consensual induction, if you ask me. That's what I believe in.
Yeah.
You know what, Cole? Could you actually put a giant censor sign just over all four of us?
Yeah,
just
probably
during that card.
Cole, when you do the video for this one, make sure you do that.
It'll be just over Jay, actually.
Yeah, let's just censor Jay this whole episode.
No, we'll all be censored, but Jay will be there all along.
It'll just be Jay as the censor.
It's just me. No audio except for mine. No video except for mine.
Michael superimpose your face on all of our faces.
Hey, I could do that.
Yeah, we just got deep face.
Yeah. Oh, God. The main voice actor in this show, by the way, has a British accent, which is such a weird thing to see in an anime dub.
Makes sense.
Kieran Flitton is his name.
Fun fact: that's not an accent. He's actually British.
Well, it's an accent.
Yeah. It's an accent still.
Okay, it's still an accent.
It's his natural.
He is not a Texas native doing a British voice. He is from
real deal
British.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like our natural Canadian accents. It's It's au natural, baby.
What are you talking about, eh?
Hi,
Mike. Tell me about. I keep throwing to you because I know that you've watched everything.
To be fair, I put them in order of popularity, and it just was like 4 shows I've watched all in a row. So yeah.
But I know for a fact that you watched this one.
Yeah, because I'm the only guy on the planet Earth that's watched this one.
You are the gritty Gundam. Mike,
that's right.
Gundam Requiem for Vengeance. Is it worth getting past the weird uncanny valley CGI?
Maybe.
Oh, okay, is the mech action cool at least?
The mech action is... So the cool thing about this is it's all filmed in Unreal Engine 5. The entire thing. It's basically like a video game cutscene. It's cool. Yeah. But the only problem is they didn't spend a lot of time doing the character models. And they really didn't spend a lot of time doing the character models like mouth movements when they talk.
But
and
who
like
cares
their facial
about the character
expressions.
models in Gundam?
Right? Oh, exactly. So what they kind of get around it because they're in the mechs a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As Andrew's moving his lips. Yeah. Another weird thing is so it's only available on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
The mouth flaps for the characters are synced to the English dub, not the Japanese sub, which is also extra weird.
Yeah, so this is a prelay. That is actually called a prelay animation. That's specifically what they call that.
Mm.
So a lot of times where it's like if it's a Japanese anime, Japanese was the original language, an English dub would be a English dub. But if it's because there have been a couple of animes where they recorded the English first, and then the Japanese one is a dub based off of the English mouth flaps. That's actually happened a couple of times with stuff. If anybody remembers, you remember Yasuke and the Scott Pilgrim anime? Those were pre-lay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So it's happened
cool.
a few
I didn't know
times.
that. That's a cool fact.
Yeah, so I think it's like the Scott Pilgrim, especially, of like they did that for the actors of the Scott Pilgrim movie in mind. So.
For Western audience, yeah.
I do
Well,
think this is the
you
first
gotta
time
be
that's
me.
happened for a Gundam series, though.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. But the mech stuff's cool, Mike.
The mech stuff is really cool. The story's okay. If you're a big Gundam fan like me, it's definitely worth checking out. It's not as bad. Like, it's okay, I'd say. The interesting thing is that, Cole, that new types are in this. There's new type action.
Oh, hey, man. Yeah, let's go.
The
new types are
downside
back.
is they don't use the new type noise.
Oh, boo!
I prefer the old type.
I know. They just
Yeah,
use
you
like
would.
it's like
You
a high-pitched whine instead of the new type noise. I don't like it. Bring the new type noise back.
Yeah.
Is Big Zam in it?
Yeah, Big Zam's definitely in it. Just tell
Big
him it
Zam is somewhere around. I know Big Zam's destroyed by this point because this is like it
When
takes
does this
place
take
like
place?
literally right before the end of the 1 year war. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
And the Gundam
You
pilot
know
is
what?
not Amuro Ray.
let me just bitch and moan about Gundam and how they've, like, I love UC. I love Universal Century.
Yep.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Me and Mike are just going to gush about Gundams for a little bit.
Yeah.
Too many Gundams in the 1 year war. There should be one Gundam. You've taken the specialness away from the Gundams. Never mind this ground type
if
Gundam.
there's only one Gundam, who are they fighting?
The Gundam's the good guy, Jay.
Not in this
Too many
one, though. The
Gundams.
Gundam's the bad guy in this one.
In this one specifically, yeah. But
From the standpoint of the Zeon. But anyway,
it takes away from the specialness of the Gundam.
Yes.
They're fighting the Zeons, Jay.
They are the
Yeah.
Zeons. The Zeon's a big
The what?
Zam mobile suit, Jay.
Sorry, the what?
The what? I beg your pardon? No, this time the Zeons are the good guys, and they're fighting the Federation, who's the bad guys.
Get it?
Oh!
In war, the good guys is a matter of perspective, Cole.
And Big
There are
Zam is an
heroes.
allegory for Jesus.
That's right.
Oh!
He's
Sure.
got it. He's finally figured it out. He's a
Joe, I think
Gundam
he's
fan.
got it.
I
He's
think
a Gundam
canonically,
fan
though, like, by the way, I finished it. I think once Jesus comes up on the podcast, we're legally obligated to take a break, aren't we?
Yeah. We are
think so.
obligated to
Yeah.
go take a break, go
Did
change my laundry, go
Yeah,
put your laundry away.
Yeah. Jay, did you
jeez.
explain to Andrew the tradition with breaks around here? How we
What
go?
is the tradition with breaks?
Oh yeah,
No,
no,
I didn't.
like we just talk, and we talk, and then I randomly go break. That's kind of what I thought too. Like I could just say, like I don't know, hypothetically, I could just say, "Hey, welcome back to AniPro. Hope you had a great break."
I did. I ate ice cream.
Yeah.
You had ice
I
cream.
had a macaroon, and now my tongue is. Oh God, my tongue is.
It is.
So
Jay, what did you eat? And what?
The fun thing about doing a video podcast, which is not something I normally do, all of this is usually Audacity and edited in post, and like it's visuals and it's all that. I'm not used to. People will see what I look like when I eat or after I eated something that's on my tongue, and also for the sake of a bit, I can say I totally didn't change my shirt during the section because I wanted to show time has passed, and not because I wanted to fold one less shirt.
I mean,
Okay.
hey, yeah, both reasons are valid. Jay, what did you eat on the break, and what color is your tongue?
I tried ordering dinner for myself, but I ran out of time because I couldn't decide on what I wanted. And
so
I think
you
my
notice
tongue
Jay
is...
Oh, I say, if you notice Jay looks distant during this recording, it's because he's currently ordering his supper.
He's got another window open. He's on Skip the Dishes.
Jay, pick the two foods that you're thinking of right now. Here's how this is going to work.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, like I want stir fry. I know I want stir fry.
Okay.
But I don't know where I want it from.
Okay, pick your two locations. Those could get bleeped out.
I don't know. What's open?
That's the thing. You're probably screwed now by the time.
Yeah, you're toast. I don't know what's open up there. I don't know.
No, nothing. After 9 o'clock, nothing.
I was trying to do a trick that I do when my girlfriend and I she's trying to decide between one of two things. She asked which of the one she should go with. When I say one, and she's like, you want the other one.
Then you know it's
you want the one that I didn't pick.
You know.
You're going that one.
Yeah, you know right away.
But if I say one and she's like, that sounds right, you want that one.
Yeah.
It's
the
false equivalency.
People, that's why coin flip's so good, because like if you get the side you didn't want, then you know that the other one's the right choice.
Exactly. Yeah.
You could get Jay, just so you know, PF Chang's is open till 11. They have stir fry. You could have that is an American thing. Apparently, I think so. I don't. Stir fry could mean a lot of things. Stir fry could mean a lot of things. To be honest with you,
I think you're just going to have to walk to Subway. I think that's what you're going to have to
honestly,
do.
That's going to end up being what happens.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Because you didn't... Okay, here's what's going to happen. Because you didn't decide during the break what you're going to eat, you're now going to have to go walk to where you're going to eat and listen to the Tokyo Ghoul. The whole time.
He's gonna stand outside the subway, like listening to that with his head back.
Yeah,
just
rain
like
pouring down on him. Yeah.
Just silently whispering, "I am the Tokyo Ghoul.
I am." Also, Walkhouse is open, Jay. Apparently.
Yeah.
Oh,
or Walkbox.
If only people knew my secrets.
Yeah.
All right, okay. You guys, seriously though, we've got to be serious now.
Got to put on our serious faces now.
Yes.
Before we did this podcast, we reached out to Andrew and we asked him, "Hey, like, let's say you were in this draft. So, there's 5 shows available. You saw our draft picks. So, like, what shows would you have drafted?
What did we miss?
What did we miss?
So, I believe the way the draft works is everybody gets their 1st through 5th pick. That's how I was understanding it.
Yeah.
And I'll say this.
Yeah.
I did still enjoy it. In earlier seasons, Blue Lock was starting strong. It has very good potential. But I gotta say, this season, Blue Lock was letting its newfound fame get to itself. It was showing up with some DUI, some mugshots. So for the sake of that, it pains me to say Blue Lock's got to go at the bottom of my draft picks in 5th. So very disappointing.
Still getting drafted
this even.
Yeah,
but still getting drafted. It's still getting drafted. It's got potential for a player. It's got potential to grow. But I gotta say, right now, Blue Lock is. I'm not excited about it, but I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna give it at least a chance. See if it can clean up its act.
All right.
Yeah. But my third round pick, Ranma. Ranma is very much a veteran of this industry for sure, and even with a new coat of paint, I think there's some real potential, some real comedy, some real action, and yeah, as somebody who didn't grow up knowing what Ranma's game was, their game is as influential as can be. So, Ranma's
left it there for
third round pick.
Yeah,
we did.
I feel like I'm glad you like completely understand the heart and soul of this of our draft, because like I feel like you get it.
He gets it. This guy gets it.
Yeah. This guy gets it.
Yeah, this guy, he gets it.
He gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to reveal?
I literally just figured, hey, why not?
Yeah.
A lot of my good picks were taken already, but I found some worthwhile ones here too.
Yeah. So, are your 1, 2, and 4 then still on the list of shows that we're going to discuss?
Correct. They are still on the cutting. They're still on the table.
Okay.
Okay, so just stop me when we get to it, and then just yell at me and Mike and Jay about how we missed out on these shows.
Yeah,
but let's get started. I think these are organized in popularity, but this was also incidentally the first overall pick of the draft, and that was DanDaDan. Are we all watching DanDaDan?
Yes.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
This is the show to beat for the season, I think.
So, this one excites me because I've been reading this manga for a while now, and the manga always was cool. Mm-hmm. It was always like a wild, wacky little series. But then, I was like, okay, the anime could make this do pretty good. And then I saw that first trailer, and I'm like,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's pretty well the timeline.
Man.
Yeah. Science Star is just kind of knocking it out of the park in terms of like style, I think for one.
Yep.
And just like nailing the overall feel of what DanDaDan was trying to be when it first started.
Yeah.
So and just like a high quality adaptation too.
There are anime I really like that are carried because the work that they are adapting is really good, but the team that is pitching the work in the visual space they're not playing their best game, if you will, so to say. Yeah. Like, just looking at stuff on this list here, you could probably think of a couple titles, just be like, I really liked the material of that. Wasn't
the next one.
Wasn't really nailing it. Like, the work was in the script, not in the director. The director got the paycheck.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah. That's not the case with DanDaDan. Oh my god!
No. And DanDaDan's amazing. And Cole, you sent that thing to our little secret, one of our many group chats that we have with just the three of us in it. Why do we have so many?
We got to have all of them. They're separate
I know,
entities.
every platform. Yeah, every platform must have a chat.
Discord's
with
professional.
Yeah,
Discord's our professional one. Instagrams are like silly one.
Silly.
Yeah.
And then we also have like a
text is like for like chatting, you know, we're trying to plan something.
Except we never use it.
We never use it. Don, you sent something about like DanDaDan. Someone wrote an article saying it's like falling short of expectations, and it was just like, what? What a bad, flaming bad take. What a cold.
I gave it the what, like WUT, like what is this clown talking about?
So, look, there are some adaptations where even if they have visual flair or stuff, I know people who are big fans of the manga who are like, can criticize certain things. I know before season 2 happened, Promised Neverland season 1 was a popular show, but I knew a guy who was a big into a manga who had genuine criticisms about things that he wasn't a fan of with the directorial choices of Mamoru Kanbei's adaptation, and I thought those were valid. I don't always agree, but there's fair. There are some adaptations where it's like, okay, I can understand you not being favorable to certain choices. I genuinely think if somebody is trying to say this is a bad adaptation, they're just being a contrarian shithead.
I think so too. Yeah, this is from fandomwire.com. Yeah, that's right. We're coming after you.
Yeah. We're shouting
Science Saru failed to capture the essence of DanDaDan's art. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, this is one of the most gorgeous
that is insane.
That's a wild
take. If it's like the quality of a 2-page spread, because this is not a comic panel. This is a visual medium, because yes, the page turn of when you first seen the Sauroprians is like kind of like a jump scare in like a page turn. But the way they do it in the anime, where it's like the light in the hallway slowly flickering out and out as you start seeing the figures much more clearly, that's a cool choice. That's a unique choice that gets the same thing, actually more inspired to do it in the visual medium instead of just doing shot for reverse shot, like most of the anime would do. Creativity, visual medium, let them cook.
No, exactly. Now,
again, we got to shout out same day dub too for this one. Thanks Netflix and Crunchyroll.
Yes. Okay, don't worry. I came prepared for this one. Don't you worry. So
I wouldn't worry. I'd never worry.
This one, it's very clear they are ahead of schedule on the production. I think they announced they wrapped the dub when episode 4 premiered. They said that they finished recording the DanDaDan dub once episode 4 came out. So they were well ahead of schedule
it's
for
fairly
this one.
high. It's high quality, you can tell.
Yeah, that probably explains the leak as well, like why they had the assets to be leaked. So, unfortunately,
no, actually, you're completely spot on there, right there. So
yeah, I know
that is. So you know how it got leaked, right? Like that's known. Is that specifically?
I never looked into it.
No.
Yeah.
So specifically, the big thing that happened is that they hacked into like the database specifically of like Asian branches of a global like dubbing studio.
Okay.
And what they acquired were like video proxies because they were watermarked, they were time coded.
Yeah.
Those are files that are used for dubbing. That's specifically what they do is you don't record over the video. You record over something that's watermarked. You record over something that's got shit in all the corners. And the reason it was a low quality video is because the proxies are low quality because they don't want to give you somebody the 4K footage.
Just in case this happens, basically.
Yeah, just in case this happens. Exactly. Yeah. Literally, that is why they make those crappy proxies with the time codes, with all the things like that. Well, the time codes.
Oh, and you need the time codes too.
But, you need the time code specifically to like do it frame by frame, but that's also the thing is like this is a time code. This is not the final footage. It's 480p.
Right.
Oh, God, I can't imagine people who watched like 6 episodes on this in 480p.
I know people who did. I know
really?
people who did. Yes.
Is he on his podcast with us?
His name.
He's sitting right there.
His name is Cole. And it's me. No, I didn't. I wouldn't even know how to. I'm completely illiterate.
Yeah. But
hey.
Yeah, this is the same day dub, and I definitely want to give a shout out to the leads of this in particular. Momo Ayase and Okarun, aka Ken Takakura.
Yes.
So the name Abby Trott has been she has been kind of blowing up in the past year or two for a couple of notable roles lately. You would know Abby Trott for roles such as Shizuka in Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead, Tokiyuki Hojo in The Elusive Samurai, Tai Takemi in Persona 5 Royal, Annette in Fire Emblem Three Houses, and little known role called Nezuko in Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Demon Slayer, have you heard of it?
Yeah. Do you even know what Demon Slayer is, bro?
You ever slayed a demon, bro?
You ever killed a demon with your bare hands?
Your blood art? Yeah.
Now who's Okaru?
No.
Who's
Abby's
Okaru?
been really killing it. Okarun's one I'm very excited to talk about. AJ Beckles has played roles such as Hop from the Pokemon Journeys anime dub, Shiki in Komodo Jihen, Joko McDonald in Shaman King, Yamato Ishida, aka Matt, in the 2020 version of Digimon Adventure, and his big one, Takamichi, in Tokyo Revengers, which was like... When I first met AJ Beckles like 3 years ago at a con, he was basically known for like 2 anime roles. And then I got to see him again this year at Anime NYC after he got to announce that he was playing Okarun. And it's like, oh man, that's such a big one. He had 5 prints ready to go. He was f***ing on that.
He was on it.
Yeah.
And the dubs also features like big named actors like Ben Diskin, Lisa Ramold, Alex Lee.
The Ben Diskin?
The Ben Diskin. Kari Walgrim, and Barbara Goodson. So yeah, Ben Diskin is the Seropians. Kari Walgrim is... Yeah. Really? Okay. Really? There's so many, like, roles of Ben Diskins that I was curious, like, what the one you were going to recognize. I mean, you're correct about Def Gun. You are correct. I'm just slightly disappointed.
There's a character named Joseph Joestar you might have heard of.
Okay, there. You should have led with that. You should have led with that.
No, hold on. The reason I recognize him as Death Gun is because I like... SAO's the one dub that, like, I feel the closest to. Because SAO was my first, like, anime. It was, like, my gateway anime.
Okay, that's fair.
Bringing it back to Digimon, he's Akuban in
but
Digimon,
fair.
too.
Anyways.
Don't give it to him. Don't give it to him.
No,
the funniest thing is Barbara Goodson. So I had friends of mine at Anime NYC that were there when the rest of the cast got announced. Like, Abby and AJ were announced prior to the convention. They announced, like, the rest of them at the panel. My buddy wanted Barbara Goodson to be Turbo Granny for a long time, so when they announced that, there was a literal audible "yeah" in the crowd. And there was a guy on the Discord Jay and I are on, we're like, did you hear that? Yeah! I did, actually. Yeah, that was us. I was like, I love that for those guys.
All right. Okay, we got 16 more anime we've got to get through. So let's keep going here.
Who claims dibs on DanDaDan?
That was Mikey. Yeah,
that was
okay. You're gonna go far with that star player, kid. That's gonna make you some big money.
Yeah. Cost me a lot of salary though.
Yeah. Next up, though, we've got one that probably is more fitting of that article title I read, Uzumaki.
Yeah. Somehow the number 4 most popular show of the season. But
popular,
boy,
I'm sure, but not for good reasons.
Remember when we were talking about the fact that the anime industry is kind of struggling?
Yeah.
So this feels like the crippling reality of hyper ambition with producers that just don't want to give them the rest of the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, it almost feels like they bit off more than they could chew, and then they like didn't have time to course correct.
I feel like it's also worth remembering because it has been a while. Do you remember when Uzumaki was announced? Don't look it up right now. I see you're on your computers. Don't look it up.
Yeah.
Look at me right now.
No,
I
feel like it's been a couple years.
Uzumaki?
I think it was like 2020, 2019, something like that.
Okay.
I don't think it was that far ago. Like
no.
20...
I was going to say 2022.
Jay's right.
Okay. Really?
It was 2019.
Jeez.
Yeah. You know what happened?
It was only 4 episodes. It was only 4 episodes. They couldn't do it.
It's only 4 episodes, but the goal was, in theory, to try and make this like movie quality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what happened after this was announced? It
was released.
Oh well, the world shut down.
That's right.
So I imagine
I won't give him that.
Okay, you know
I
what?
won't give him that. That's
so yes. COVID-19. Another thing that happened. Warner Brothers Discovery. Because people forget, this was announced before Zaslav took over. So this was in production before that. This was actually also probably in production back when, like, Crunchyroll was still a corporate cousin to Warner Brothers and not a corporate cousin to Sony. So any funds that Crunchyroll also could have had and thrown into this too probably also got yanked out of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying there is
I forgot about that.
This is one of those things. I guarantee there is no one single person at fault. This seems like one cavalcade of spiral after spiral after spiral that all came spiraling down.
How apropos.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did there.
And the thing is, it still works for me. Even if it looks kind of... Like, I saw episode 2. Here's the thing. I've seen anime. I've seen a lot of anime. It looks like a normal anime. But going from the episode 1, and then when you go from the thing with Tomie... and then show them the running on the beach thing, of course it's going to look like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
But it's like, most of the episode itself, it still looks like a normal anime. Like, remember when
that's kind of what I was saying. Oh,
I was saying, like, at its worst, at like its best, Blue Lock Season 1 kind of looked like a 6.5 to 7. Honestly, even at its worst, Uzumaki is still probably just mid-passing grade, still.
Yeah, I know. Like,
it
I was
just
saying
looks
that
more
to
jarring
guys.
when you compare it to the episode 1, which is like, that's the labor of love.
Sorry, Mike, you were saying something?
Oh, I was just saying, like, earlier, and I think on an earlier episode I was talking about with these guys, and I was kind of saying the same thing. Like, it's getting a lot of hate, but it's not that bad. I feel like it's almost like people are riding the wave of hate, just like basically downvoting it. But it's like it's not really that bad. It's not that good. Don't get me wrong.
Derogatory to say objectively it's still the best Junji Ito anime, but it still is the best Junji Ito anime.
I mean, to be fair, there isn't that much that like it's not a high bar that they're trying to.
Yeah.
No.
Like people forget, like even with the production aside, Colin Stetson doing the OST was inspired. That score is creepy.
It was good. It was actually good.
It's genuinely really creepy, and like even like the unsettling nerves that it was trying to do, it still got the message across. It still made me go, "Oh damn."
Yeah. It just felt just a little short, but that's just my feelings on it.
I also
it was fine.
If you want to hear more extensive thoughts from us on Uzumaki, we also did a review of the manga not too long ago, so you can go check that out.
Fair enough. Yeah. The only thing I will say is I feel like anybody who's like, you should have just put episode 1 or not at all, I don't agree with that at all. I think, as unfortunate as it is, still putting it out, it still came out. I feel like even putting out like episode 1 and not the rest, you're just going to have too many more questions. For better or for worse, the project as it is in its current form, it says the story itself.
That's right.
Yeah. Let's move on. Now, Jay, I can throw it to you finally. Do you like boys playing badminton?
I do like boys playing badminton. I also like, I know what the next question you're going to ask is, and yes, I do like
I don't have a
follow-up
question. No follow-up question.
Yeah, there's not a natural follow-up question at all.
Yeah, no. Are you watching Blue Box?
I am watching Blue Box, and let me tell you something.
Unrelated.
Do you like boys playing basketball or girls playing basketball?
Who?
No.
Who are you asking? Me?
You.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like girls playing basketball.
Okay, totally unrelated. I just felt like asking.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Is this show good? Is this show
Yes.
It is a good show. I think that it looks
Take
great.
it from my blue tongue. It's really good.
As someone who has read the manga since its inception, I know Andrew's there with me. I love the story of Blue Box. The show on a visual standpoint looks really good. I think the animation is just like a little bit janky. But
Sometimes.
like it still does capture what the manga was trying to do. So like it's not horrible or anything.
I think it's genuinely a very pretty show. But I know what you're saying. Like sometimes you can cover up maybe not the best animation with very nice visuals, and that's fine. Like I'm not saying that as a bad thing. Like
the gist of what I think,
do what works for you.
I think the thing that Blue Box is trying to go for is that it's trying to go for the art, because the reality is Blue Box is a very simple story where I think it's clear that the assets, like the places you should be putting the resources in, most of the time it's not going to be the games, because of reality most of the time it is about the characters and like the growth and improvement, and sometimes it is like the training sessions, but when there is a game, there's some really good games in there too. But those are a little less a priority than it is the emotional aspect of it, which that's why I think Blue Box is prioritizing the art. I think it's prioritizing the aesthetic, the warmth, like first love feelings. And that's where I think the anime itself is.
I don't disagree with you. I just I think that this show does get a little bit too much praise for like animation when it's not really the animation that's the thing that this show is really excelling at. It's more it's general adaptation of the manga, and also just its visual presentation.
Yeah, and it had a high bar to live up to too, because like the first. Yeah, like the manga had and the really good art, and it was a hard bar to live up to. But like they do benefit from lots of this manga being characters kind of standing around and talking to each other. Because I feel like if it was more action, if it was more badminton and more basketball, they probably would struggle because they look good sometimes, but it's just not what it's here for.
Yeah. But that's not the point of it. Yeah. I do feel like I'm gonna be the dissenting voice here a little bit. Like I feel like it's just not. It hasn't really grabbed me in the way that some of the other shows this season have, and I don't. I think it's kind of just the source material. Maybe it's maybe not from. Well, you're not too much of a dissenting voice on this one, Mike. I'm kind of with you on it. Like it's
something about it's just missing something.
I'll say it from sun up till sundown, you know, when the cows leave and the cows are coming home. I'm saying it all the time. People are calling the cops because this crazy guy won't stop talking about it.
This guy won't stop.
It's a very pretty show. Very pretty show. I like the OP and stuff. I like elements of it, but it's not. Yeah, the
doesn't tickle the jimmies.
Yeah, it's not tickling the jimmies. You know it's not pulling me in.
You know what, Cole? It tickles my jimmies.
Well, that's fine. That's great.
I think the thing about Blue Box is that there are sometimes certain shows where it's just like, it's not necessarily this is going to be. There's a song from a musical called Title of a Show that always sticks to me. It's being 1,000,009th favorite thing. You could either be 1,000,000 people's 9th favorite thing or 100 people's 9th. Okay, no. I screwed that up. You could be 9 people's favorite thing or 100 people's 9th favorite thing, which is basically the matter of making something very hyper-specific or something that has the mass market appeal. Where the mass market appeal is basically stuff that's like, it's tested, it's focused, as many eyes, as many people want to spend on it, but it's not going to leave as much of an impact to them emotionally. And it's like, they'll be like, I had fun with that. But they're not going to think about it 5 years ago where it's like the feeling it gave them. Blue Box is a series where it's like, if the emotions, if the characters, that's not going to get for everybody. But for me, for Jay, I'm going to side with Jay on this one completely. There's something about the warmth, the characters, the genuine feeling of capturing innocent, like,
the series is like a cloud.
Your best. Yes,
I think you hit it, because I think what it is you and Jay are looking for some warmth, and me and Cole, we look for cold darkness in our media that we enjoy. I think is probably what this comes down to.
Yeah. Well, also, the next show is all.
There is drama. You don't know whose feelings are gonna get heartbroken. Like that is a genuine source of tension.
And it better not be Chono, best girl Chono.
Also, real quick, the OP was done by Tetsuro Araki, and I really love the OP.
Okay, I cannot believe the renaissance of Tetsuro Araki, the Attack on Titan and Death Note director, who just in his spare time has just been like storyboarding and directing like warm rom-com happy OPs. He did like the second Spy Family OP. He did Dangerous in My Heart season 2, and he did Blue Box, and it's like I'm living for this like therapeutic renaissance he's going through right now. It's kind of like how Gen Urobuchi is basically going through therapy by playing with his Taiwanese puppets.
Would you say he's like serving up hit after hit? Like a servant? Like Miss Servant or something like that?
You know what?
What a segue.
Yes, what a segue. Hey, let me talk about this show. Let me talk about You Are Miss Servant. It is the most unique show I could possibly never think of because I'm not that creative. You know, on the tin, you know, okay, girl goes from assassin to maid, like obviously.
I don't know what this one's about at all, honestly.
But I don't know, it's more about like found family and trying to like leave your past behind and start anew. It's just a very sweet show. I'm really.
I like how you're saying
really
you're looking for cold darkness, and you're literally talking about a show that is literally about leaving cold darkness behind for warmth.
Hey, I didn't say that. Mike put words in my mouth.
I did say that. Yeah, maybe I'm just projecting myself on
Cole's
Cole.
also a man of many hats.
And contradicting himself too.
I wear many hats. I'm really enjoying this one. It's a nice like put it on before bed kind of thing.
It's a nice
like
palate cleanser.
Yeah, the stakes aren't very high.
Actually.
It's just very sweet. Yeah, it's just a nice, cute show.
Also, just on a visual level, that OP is nuts.
Where did that come from?
It's too good.
Cool OP.
It's too good. The ED is quite good too, actually. But yeah, that OP is like one of the most creative OPs since like Mob, maybe. To be honest, just in terms of like pure creativity.
I gotta watch it.
I'm not sure I agree with that, but it very much hits like that level of like artistic. Honestly, I'd say if I was to compare it more with anything, I'd say it reminds me more of like a mixed media OP of something like, you know how like B-Stars had like the stop motion thing. I'd say it reminds me more of like using mixed media stuff.
I think Cole's just like saying that it's the most creative thing he's seen since Mob.
Fair
that
enough,
I can think of off the top of my head. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because Mob uses those like different styles of animation.
It's got the
and
zoetrope
thing.
As well.
But yeah, it's just really cool. Like I would check out the OP at least, Mike. Check that out.
Okay.
And
I'll definitely check it out. Yeah.
I certainly enjoy the show as well. It's very cute and sweet. And
Are you continuing it, Cole?
Yeah, of course I'm continuing it.
Valid.
Of course I am, you fool.
I have a question for you, because the thing that drew me to this, gentlemen, does the name Black Lagoon ring any bells to you?
Oh, yeah.
A bell.
I've heard of it.
Haven't watched it, but I've heard of it, yeah. I know a little bit about it. Revy Beskar.
The thing I was appealed to, so in Black Lagoon, there is a character named Roberta. She is a maid.
Okay.
She is a maid for a young new master, and she was hired as a maid after her old life. She was basically like a revolutionary, a soldier, and an assassin. So I was literally thinking to myself, oh my god, this is the Roberta story I always wanted, which instead of the blood trail she leaves later on, what if it was about the found family and the warmth she found with her new master after her old life? And I'm like, I want that so bad, actually, which I actually want to take a second to shout out the dub for this one, because this does have a dub, and it does have two leads in regards to Hitoyoshi and Yuki. Hitoyoshi is actually played by a relative new up-and-comer named Abi Kumar, who I believe is the new voice of Prince Soma as of the newest season of Black Butler, the public school arc. But Yuki, the maid, is Trina Nishimura, who you might recognize her name for things like Chain Tsuburagi from Blood Blockade Battlefront, which I only threw in there to see if somebody would pog out if I mentioned Blood Blockade Battlefront.
We literally just reviewed it.
Our last episode was 2 episodes ago. No, was it
last episode?
Yeah, last episode. Yeah, it was our Blood Blockade. Yeah.
I respect that.
J-Pog.
I respect this crew. And she's also played Kyokujiro in My Hero Academia, Makase Kurisu in Steins Gate, and the one I find most relevant to this conversation, Mikasa Ackerman in Attack on Titan. Because my thought about watching this is, this is the good ending for Mikasa.
That's good casting. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Because Jay, I don't know if you have been around to see me talk crap about the ending of Attack on Titan at all.
No.
Oh no.
No. We'll have to.
One of us.
One of us.
Oh no. Moving on. Orb coming up.
We've got too many shows to talk about.
Okay. We gotta go quick.
With you. Okay, I'm just gonna say I'm with you. This show's great. I like this. This was warm and fuzzy. I'm gonna stick with this too.
I am going to discuss Attack on Titan with you immediately after this recording because
we'll talk about it off air.
Orb. Yes.
Orb.
Please ponder the orb.
Okay.
Please ponder the orb for us, Jay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
This show is I was waiting to see if the two of you would do that. This show is probably the most interesting show to come out of this season.
It's definitely the most interesting anime based in Poland, I would say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But like it's set in I think it's like 15th century Poland. Talking about heliocentrism.
Probably the best show ever to do all of those things.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But like, yeah, it's so cool, like seeing this kid who's like, I think like 12 or 13, Rafal, learn that the universe doesn't revolve around the Earth, but like that the Earth could revolve around the sun, and like how he goes from like, no, that's such a stupid idea, to like, this is actually possible, and just him slowly like delving deeper into that idea, despite the fact that he could get arrested and he could die for like such blasphemous ideas.
Yeah. It's gonna be a crazy episode when he discovers the truth about the Earth, that it's flat.
Jay,
true.
I need to apologize to you right now. You are having a genuine like discussion about this right now. You are literally pitching it really strong in a really interesting way.
Where are we going with this?
I feel like we're taking a complete left turn.
It's a complete left turn because I keep thinking of like my favorite stupid image on the internet, which I might just send to Jay right now so he can send to you.
Oh, is it the pondering the orb image? Oh yeah.
No, it's not the pondering the orb. Hang on. Okay, please continue your discussion, Jay. I will break that.
Jay, continue gushing.
And like just like how it's written, all these characters feel real and believable. It genuinely feels like the mangaka did their homework on what was going on at the time and how like those kind of heretical ideas would be treated if they were presented.
At that time.
Just such a good mature anime that if you're looking for something more mature and something very different, I'd highly recommend it.
That is
I need to check it out.
That is genuinely like, this is a really interesting show. It's one of my only regrets that I really missed before this recording was I didn't get the chance to sit down and watch this. Everything about it is interesting, and I really do genuinely like, that's a really strong pitch. I'm gonna check this out. Now please send them the stupid thing. Please send them the stupid thing I just sent you.
I just got it. Okay, no, I need to see it.
Are you
send it in
put
the
in business chat?
Yeah. Are you going to continue this one though, Jay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I need to check.
Next up.
I'm still mad.
Next up, we've got
as soon as you mentioned what if the Earth orbits the sun, this was all I could think of, and it was dying.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll bring it up later. But moving on to our next show.
Yeah, one of the most colorful shows about just some like maybe not super fun topics.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess.
kind of surprisingly dark. Eh?
It's very the dichotomy between like the super colorful art of Yakuza Fiance and like the less than colorful subject matter is super interesting. It's also like a good kind of mystery a little bit, like there's machinations going on behind the scenes that are just finally starting to be revealed.
The inner machinations of their mind are an enigma.
Exactly. And I'm enjoying this one. At first I was like, okay, we got to get some like movement going here to keep me invested. But in the most recent episode as of recording, I finally got a bit of that movement, so I'm back. I'm back in this one, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you say that, because I did start watching it. Like I watched the first episode. I also read the first volume of the manga, and it just kind of like did not hook me whatsoever. Because like it was both slow and also like the subject matter just kind of didn't vibe with me.
You know who would enjoy this one, Mike? I think.
Who?
Shazana, I think, would enjoy this one. Yeah,
probably.
Sorry. Are we keeping you up, Michael?
Yeah, you are. It's past my bedtime already.
So I actually saw an interesting thread about this earlier on the Blue Sky. Which look, I know X.com still exists, but
it does allegedly.
That safety boat is looking a lot more stable right now, and I'm quite enjoying my time in the Blue Skies. I saw a thread on that earlier, which was actually like an interesting discussion comparing it to another dicey Yakuza-based romance series that came out like a year ago, and why this one works and that one didn't. Okay, does anybody remember A Girl and Her Guard Dog?
Name rings a bell.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
That was the dubious shoujo romance about a teenage girl and her Yakuza bodyguard who's like 10 years older than her. And
yes! I just saw the poster and I do remember it. But
Jay was very excited.
Very excited to see
I was going to say, you were a little more excited about the problematic...
No, I was excited because I was like, yes, I remember it.
It aired basically a year ago today.
So the thing that thread was mentioning is that Girl and Her Guard Dog was basically a main girl with no agency thrown into scenarios where her agency was being taken away by the hot guy just coming to save her or get her out of danger. Where in comparison, Yakuza Fiance is more of a matching each other's freak, because the main girl has plenty of agency, and she kind of struggles with pretending to be normal because she was raised in a Yakuza household, where instead of just being like,
they're both
I'm just
Yakuza,
a normal
right?
girl, it's like, I'm gonna beat you the shit up. I swear to God, you cross me again, I will end you. I will end you. And the other guy was like, I want your babies.
Yeah. I'm into that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Basically.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why like Yakuza Fiance works as like a spicy romance, because he's a freaky, weird assassin Yakuza guy with bad morals, but it's also like she also lived in the assassin world. But it's like, it's basically, it's the equivalent of the girl gets the demon by her side, except the demon likes her a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Cole, you're gonna keep watching this?
I'll continue it. It's probably closer to the precipice than I thought it would have been, but it's starting to inch away from the edge of the cliff.
Yeah.
Now here's one that was
Andrew continuing to watch it too. It sounds like you're watching it.
Are you
watching?
Are you
Yakuza
watching this
Fiance?
one? Oh, no, I haven't even started it. I was literally just going off of things I've heard tangentially about it. I'm like, oh, this sounds fun and spicy.
Gotcha.
But I was just thinking about that one thread I saw today where it's like, oh yeah, there was a spicy Yakuza-based show that was controversial, and it's like, oh, okay. The main girl in this gets to be a character with agency, and it also, you make sense that she's a Yakuza girl. So I was like, that struck me. I want to bring that up.
Yeah.
I think you're watching our next one here, though.
Yeah. Here's one that you did end up putting in your draft. So 365 days to the wedding. Where did you put this on your draft, Andrew?
So in my genuine, honest to God surprise, top pick. This is my top pick of my draft.
All right.
I was not.
Sell
I was
me
expecting
on
I
this
was
show.
Gonna, so, okay, a couple of things to sell you on the show. First things first. Does the title "The World God Only Knows" ring a bell for any of you?
Yep.
Okay, same author. That's point number one.
Yeah. Okay.
Point number two. So, I know it's fun when high school kids are in love, figuring it out. What are the ages of the main pair of this? 24 and 26. They're adults. They're working. They have a job together.
Oh.
They're doing their thing.
They're children to me. Oh God.
Look, 24 and 26 is
Where's
like
the love stories for this?
That feels closer to like where I'm at. That's like 20 at like 27 going on 28.
Yeah.
So it's like
don't mind the old man
feels
rambling.
Third,
old man shakes fist at cloud.
Yeah.
What?
It's a good rom-com scenario for a lot of hijinks, because the setup is basically they work at a travel agency, which is already pretty interesting in and of itself. There are these two characters that work at a travel agency, and basically the travel agency is like, hey, we're going to open a brand new office in 1 year's time in Alaska. And we're not going to separate any families and all that, because, of course, you families, that's not that important. We don't want to separate you. But anybody who's single and ready to mingle, you're gonna be on. You're on the cutting board. You're gonna leave that office. You're gonna go to Alaska, especially if you're single. You don't have to worry about any obligations. So the main guy's like, I have a cat. He just started opening up to me. I don't want to leave my cats. And she's like, tough, whatever, okay. And then this other girl who's like this.
I appreciate that.
The other thing I'll say this is going to sound very contentious when I bring this up like this. If I say the phrase on the spectrum, I feel that's going to say, people are going to think that is a negative or derogatory thing. But here's the thing.
Okay.
The main girl in this is one of the most autism-coded characters I've seen in a long time, because she is just a girl that loves maps. Like, she literally gets so much excitement from buying an atlas or a world map and just kind of like staring and admiring her map. But she doesn't like to travel. She doesn't like traveling. In fact, she hates the idea of traveling to Alaska because she's like, I just like my quiet little space. I don't like people that much. I don't want to deal with people, but I like the maps. The maps are fun. I like to imagine myself traveling. And also she collects rocks and shells. So literally she runs into the guy who didn't want to leave because he's a cat dad, which I relate to that a lot. And the awkward girl who likes maps and is very autism coded literally goes up to him and is like, what if we tell them we're getting married? What if we tell them we're getting married? If we're married, don't gotta move. I live my life, you live your life.
Yeah.
No big deal. So, and besides,
what could possibly
go wrong? Hijinks ensue. And it's like, nobody's gonna make a big deal. We're awkward. We're weird. Nobody's going to even notice. If we're just gonna be like, oh, we're married. We didn't want to make a big deal. Yeah. It's gonna be very low key. Throw them a party. First things first. They're like, oh no, we've made a huge mistake. Then suddenly his dad finds out about this girl that he's going to get married. So he's got to start preparing a whole thing. It's like, oh no. And but also they're a really cute will they, won't they couple. Because it's like they're married, but they're also trying to plan these fake scenarios. So she's like trying to come up with a convincing fake scenario. And it's like realizing, wait, do I like this guy more than I think it is? Or it's basically like, wait, are these feelings fake or is this real or whatnot? The author of this understands people and understands writing good romances and has thrown a lot more twists, like character things and things I wouldn't expect. And oh my god, these two are cute. They're awkward, they're adorable, I want the best for them. Do you like Sayori Hayami being your cute, awkward, leading lady? Of course you do. You're only human. So yeah. Do you want her to be the awkward, autism-coded, 20-something-year-old woman who really likes maps, but is also doing her best? And in order to try and get them off their back, she sings a bad, awkward karaoke song, and her idea of going into fun mode is just getting drunk and doing karaoke and all that? But also misunderstandings happen, and it's good romance, and they're adults, and oh my god, I did not expect to
So I'm guessing you're continuing this one.
Yeah.
Jay, I'm only disappointed you haven't started this one because this is so your brand of shit.
Who says I haven't?
Have you?
Yeah, I did start it.
Oh, okay. Okay, there you go.
Well, it's a good thing I drafted it because yeah.
I think we mentioned this during our draft that like this show would have been our 6th pick.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah,
for both
yeah,
of you.
it was
if we had a 6th.
On the short list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got
I'm
6,
interested.
6,
I just
6.
haven't gotten around to it.
This one. I was liking it so much more than I expected to, and that's why it's my top pick. That's my top pick.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Followed promptly.
Next one was also one I considered drafting, but it's your number two pick. It looks like
my number 2 pick.
And that is Demon Lord 2099. So Cyberpunk Demon Lord. Why should I watch this? You know,
okay,
like, I don't know.
Here's my pitch to you.
It's got props.
Okay, here's my pitch.
He doesn't sound as excited about this one. Okay.
Here's my pitch to you. So,
yeah.
Do you like The Devil is a Part-Timer?
A little bit.
I know Mike does.
Do you like The Misfit of Demon King Academy?
Don't know.
I don't know. I haven't watched that.
I mentioned those two in particular because this seems like the next evolution of those two ideas and trains of thoughts in particular. Specifically in the fact that
this is the next level.
This is the next level. This is the 2099th level. So this is basically... It's a mix of getting reincarnated into the real world and trying to make it in, like, the real society angle from Devil's a Part-Timer with the sort of absurdist comedy angle of the Demon Lord stuff in Misfit of Demon King Academy. So basically, the Demon Lord is defeated by the hero, tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, Beauty and the Beast, same case of Ra. So basically, he gets revived 500 years later in the year 2099. And while he was asleep, the fantasy world literally collides with Earth. Both worlds literally collide, and like 90% of the populations of both worlds just obliterated. There's wars, there's conflict and all that. This is the after times where both those societies has finally integrated humanity, magic worlds. So now they are in the futuristic sci-fi cyberpunk world. So, so the Demon King was revived by like his most loyal attendant, and he's like
a VTuber or something,
now.
isn't he? He's like,
He is a nobody now because one of his old generals betrays him and basically becomes Bill Gates for magic. He's Bill Gates for magic, and basically is like, everybody can use magic now because of this neural implant. And I made sure that high-level demon lords can't do it. So you're out of luck. So he's like, I need to figure out how to survive in this society. Because my assistant is working is a part-time job, and I can't be the deadweight breadwinner. But I have no skills. Nobody will hire me. What is a guy with all the desire to become known around the world, with no job experience, no particularly strong workforce set of skills, but is conventionally very attractive and has a very sexy voice? Hey everybody, this is the Demon Lord. You can come follow me on YouTube. You can subscribe to my Patreon. You can support the channel. And he becomes a streamer. He becomes a YouTuber. He becomes a Let's Player. He becomes a content creator. So the Demon Lord, to survive in the modern world, instead of getting a part-time job, becomes a streamer. And I gotta tell you, that's hilarious. That's so funny. This was way funnier than I was expecting it to. And, like, a lot of, like, the dub itself I was enjoying, too, because they got some big names on this in the form of, like, Ian Sinclair is the Demon Lord. So that's
I love Ian Sinclair dub.
He's so good. That's, like, Saiki Tsuchimoto from Golden Kamuy, Whis from Dragon Ball Super, Brook from One Piece, and Dandy from Space Dandy. All incredible.
Like every over-the-top and zany character you can possibly think of, Ian Sinclair.
He's also just a genuine good dramatic actor, so I love the beginning of the show where he has this genuinely touching, like almost Shakespearean tragedy as he's like lying in defeat at the hands of the hero. I'm like, oh, that's good acting. And then a few minutes later, he's like, what the heck is this match? What is that on the board? Which also, there's a hacker girl who they become friends with, which the hacker girl was friends with his top lieutenant because they met on an Otome Dojin site for demon lords. Like, Otome Demon Lord Dojin site. And that's how they became friends. And also, she hacks all the billboards, so she starts playing porn on the billboards just to get back to the man.
So you're going to be continuing this one, Andrew?
This was one where it's like, Jay, I am so tired of light novel, power fantasy, demon lord stuff. But a good, funny premise.
That was kind of our initial impression.
But a good, funny play on the premise. So going to cyberpunk future, taking down fantasy Bill Gates, all while becoming a popular VTuber, I'm in. Lord Veltel Velvet Velsvalt, that is his full name, becomes my number 2 draft pick, next to the dumb, young, fake married couple of 65 days.
Nice.
Sorry.
Now, Jalian, this next show scratches the Quince itch that we've maybe been missing for the last few years.
Yeah.
So tell me about tying the knot with an Amagi sister.
You know what? This show is so nice. It's just about a guy who is like he's an orphan, and he basically gets like adopted into this family of shrine girls and their grandfather, but like not like adopted as their son, but like he goes in and he has to marry one of them to take over the shrine. I think like he goes in for like school or whatever, but like so then it turns out that he has to marry one of them, and take over the shrine. And what ensues is just like a fun Quince-like story of like of figuring out like which one he's gonna pick, and it's just a fun show.
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of this one, and I'm certainly interested. Maybe it'll be a binge at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think like a lot of this show has a lot of potential, but the biggest problem is being in the shadow of Quince.
Yeah, I think
it's
so
kind of amazing,
especially getting that endorsement from. Yeah,
I feel like people.
Go ahead.
People kind of forget that, like, or I guess people don't realize it. I think the quintessential quintuplets kind of might be one of the most influential like anime and manga of the 2010s, because legitimately everybody is trying to be it.
And they haven't succeeded, honestly.
Have you ever looked at the Weekly Shonen magazine and all the manga in it, and like half of them are now rom-coms?
Yeah, there is one that I think is living up to the Quince name, but it's not an anime yet.
Oh, well, you haven't told me anything about it, so yeah.
You might have made a YouTube video about it.
I will say, I'm also going to give a shout out, because I didn't watch this one, but just a quick shout out to the dubcast of this, which I think is pretty cool. Brandon Loria is the main guy. He's a relative newcomer, but all the sisters are very... I think it's kind of funny to me is like, the eldest has like the most experience. The middle one is kind of like getting up there, but not quite the notoriety of like the main one, and like the youngest sister is like the youngest as far as their resumes, because it's Monica Rial, Hayden Davio, and Abigail Blythe as the three sisters.
Okay. Okay. So next one, Jay. So Jay's coming at me with the Sad Boy show, and you know me. One of my many hats is I enjoy a Sad Boy show.
You do enjoy a Sad Boy.
Tell me about the Sad Boy fishing in the fishing. Yeah.
So this is basically about a guy who's down on his
Negative
luck.
Positive Angler.
I was going to say, what's it called? Let's say what it's called.
Negative Positive Angler. It's about a guy who's down on his luck. He owes money to the mob, and like he also found out that he doesn't have long to live.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Well, who cares
really
about the
not
mob
his
thing then?
Yeah.
That is literally a
wouldn't be too
thing in
concerned
the
about
show. He's thinking, wait a second, if I'm gonna die, I don't have to pay my debts.
Yeah.
I can take out more debts. Who cares?
Yeah.
Nothing matters. That's literally in the show.
Yeah, that'd be me.
That's
would
not
be-
how it works. Don't do that.
That would be me.
Don't do that.
Yeah, well, he's down on his luck. He meets this group of people who do fishing, and they like welcome him in, and it's just a show about fishing and him enjoying the rest of his time doing something not so depressing.
Nice. I will check this out, Jay. I will.
I will say
Sorry.
I watched the first 2 episodes of this today. Highly recommend.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually say, I could say this is probably less a show I would pitch to like most of your anime crowd if they really like are big into it, and more like, how do I describe this? It's almost like a dark comedy, like indie darling that's going for the Oscar with the story and the setup. Because it's basically
that makes sense.
that's the way it feels like, because it's very darkly fun. Do you know how the show opens up? They don't know how the show opens up.
I don't.
The show quite literally.
I watched it a long time ago.
I got this. Let me say, this is actually there's actually a content warning in maybe the first 20 to 30 seconds of the show.
Yes,
because the show
he tries to
opens on a
unalive
botched
himself.
suicide attempt.
Yeah.
Yes,
The rope breaks out from under him. Like that is how the show opens, and then he hits his head.
Yeah, it is a little it is a little graphic
It's
at the
morbid.
beginning. But it does have some intrigue to it. I do feel like it was a little bit slow for me. But it does look really pretty. So, this one I'm probably closer to dropping.
I think I might like this one.
I think
to be
this
honest.
is like a
it
vibe show.
It sounds a little March Comes In Like a Lion-y.
Yeah,
and I know you said the same thing about that. Like you're slow on that one too. So
Question.
Kind of the vibe I'm getting a little bit.
Are you a big March Comes In Like a Lion guy?
Oh god.
yeah, it's my number one.
Oh no.
Oh my god!
We can
Oh, we lost.
We
him.
can we can gush about it.
we can talk
Oh
about it off
yeah,
air.
yeah. I got him back here too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
There
talk
they
about
are.
it off air.
Yeah,
We gotta go. We gotta keep this train moving.
yeah.
Yes, the train must-
I just want to
so-
say you should check this one out.
Yes.
I think I will.
Jay?
Yeah, if the vibes.
For the right
seem-
person.
Yeah.
For the right
Yeah.
person, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TsumaSho is the next one up. Hey, my wife is reincarnated as a middle school, or not even, like an elementary school girl, I guess. Which sounds sketch, but hey, it's not. It's actually just a sweet story about moving on, I think, with your life.
Grief.
That's kind of
Overcoming it.
yeah, it's about grief and like it's also interesting how like the characters just kind of like, okay, I guess this is happening, which is just funny. Like, hey, my wife's
Interesting thing
back.
in anime. Yeah.
I guess
My wife's back. All right.
She's
You
a
have
little
It's
girl
just
now?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
you have proven to me that you are my reincarnated wife. This is my life now.
Yeah. What
Interesting.
next? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they also just
it's
put
good.
out like the
It's-
live action show of this on Netflix like a week ago, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I think it was kind of like a multimedia
mixed media
release that they did,
Okay.
which I'm probably closer to dropping this one, I think.
That's fair.
Like I only watched the one episode of it because I needed to.
It's an interesting concept,
I don't know.
and I think
I don't know. I'll give it a couple
It's
more
an interesting
episodes.
concept, and I think works like if you want like a bit of a unique drama, because conceptually I'm kind of into it.
Yeah.
But I didn't check it out. I just think the fact that they
Yeah.
chose to call it SumaSho tells me that I think Crunchyroll just didn't want to deal with people saying it's not a weird title, we promise. So they called it the Japanese title.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
100.
that's funny.
They learned from Jay's show last season of the what was it? My
Days
stepsister.
with my stepsister.
Days with my stepsister, and they said we're not doing that again.
We've learned our lesson.
We've learned.
Now, Andrew, I want to know, have you learned your lesson about MechaUde? Is this a good show or a bad show?
So here's how I would pitch MechaUde.
Oh, boy.
So MechaUde is my 4th draft pick. I will say that. So I think...
Okay.
I will say this. On the one hand, I enjoy watching Blue Lock more. I think overall entertainment, Blue Lock I find more entertaining. But I got to docket points for the fact that it's a big project that's kind of taking its fame for granted, so to speak. MechaUde, on the other hand, this is a kid who's been trying to make it for years. This started as a Kickstarter pitch project in 2018.
Yeah.
This is a passion project from this studio, and I think the way I describe it is... How do I pitch it? So, what if... Do you remember the 2000s Shonen Jump era? Specifically when there wasn't a lot of things brought over to the West, but you could get a physical magazine with like 6 titles on it.
Mike, Jay, do you remember these?
Yes, I used to collect these magazines when they were available, but they were still like big brands like Yu-Gi-Oh! And One Piece and stuff like that.
True, but they always had like a couple of like the weirder ones too. Like, but it also have stuff like Shaman King, Ultimo. It would have Sandland, stuff like that too, where it's like not as big.
Yeah.
MechaUde feels like the 2000s era Shonen Jump, like indie fashion favorite like project. But it's like an indie anime that got the budget by proving to producers, oh, there might be an audience for it. But it's like, it's a little jank, it's not a perfect, but like I feel the labor of love into this project that makes it feel like it's like trying to shoot for like the trigger without having like the experience of the trigger. But it's not trying to be a copy. It's trying to be
They have
itself.
like high goals, but they're not maybe not quite living up to it. I did kind of check it out a little bit, and the two things that kind of detracted it for me were just like how incredibly shonen-y it looked. Like it looked very young, targeted to a young audience, and it did look a little janky.
See, the jank is like understandable because it's clear this is an indie studio that did just get some big producer money, just kind of like cashed in a little after the Kickstarter did well, and this person's probably been in talks for years to get their passion project. But also, like, I respect the shonen, like the 2000s era shonen thing. That's like, it's also a new IP. That's how I'm just. If I had to describe it, I'm looking at this through the same lens as like the indie projects, like an indie animation that made it big, if that made sense. That's how I'm viewing it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it too.
More of like the indie project that actually is going the distance. So it's not going to take the titles down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a fun it is a fun hidden gem. I don't think it's like the best show of the season, but I do think that it is like a really interesting a really interesting idea. And also, it has Hiroyuki Sawano doing the soundtrack. So like,
the fact that they got the Sawano score, I was like, that's inspired.
Yeah,
if I had to say, I don't love this, but I respect it, which I think is equally as strong.
Yeah, yeah. Are you continuing this show?
I might continue it. The fact that this one doesn't have a dub, it makes it a little harder for me. Yeah. But I think I will come back around to this in the future. Maybe not right away.
Okay.
Well, Cole, speaking of shows that you are coming back to, I'm stealing your
please. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
What about Nina the Starry Bride? Are you going to be coming back to that show?
Maybe. It's your classic rags to riches story. You know, they find a girl in the gutter and she becomes a princess overnight.
Whoa.
It's a little generic in that sense. I like Nina as a character, like I really do. You know, I like the spunky tom girl type or tomboy type character. I don't know. There's just something about it. It's not quite.
The trailers and stuff is just like her most important trait is that she has like kind of cool eyes, and that's probably all
she can pass off as like this.
I've heard good things about it. I just haven't.
There's good things. Yeah, like I certainly wouldn't call it bad. I just don't know if it's for me per se.
Yeah, it's kind of
not holding you.
Frustratingly okay.
Yeah. That's kind of what I would say too. So, like, I don't think there's anything that I'm willing to say like I'm going to drop, but this is probably my closest considering dropping.
Okay. Yeah.
That's fair.
I can't speak in favor or defense of it either way, but I know people that really liked what this was putting down, so I'll probably check it out. Also, shout out.
So Cole, are we ready to gush?
Now let me tell you about the best goddamn show of the season.
Let's go!
How I attended an all guys mixer. Oh my god, this show is so fun.
It's so cute.
It's so much fun. I love the characters. Oh man, this one's so good. High Guy does it again. They
sell me on this one.
What would I? It's just like a very cute comedy that may awaken things in you. It makes you feel like one of the characters in it. So basically 3 guys get invited to a mixer with these 3 girls from school. They show up to the mixer, and instead of these girls being there, it's these 3 hot guys at the mixer. But they're like, where are the girls? And they're like, oh no, we are the girls. We work at a cross-dressing cafe. And it's just very like, one character is just like, okay, whatever, it's all good, and he's the best boy of the season. He's the best guy ever. One of them's kind of like,
about the literal golden retriever guy?
Yes.
Is he the blonde one?
Is that the guy's name?
He's the best. Yeah. The main guy. The main guy is just kind of he's fine with it, whatever. And then one of them is like, kind of like refuses to like accept that he is okay with this as well. It's good. It's one of those things. Just watch like the first 5 minutes of the show. You'll know if you're into it.
I pitched it a little bit, and I kind of pitched it to Cole as this as well before it started because I read a bit of the manga. It's a little bit like Tsuridore Children in the way that like it's just like it chronicalizes different like 3 different relationships going on at the same time and how they develop.
You son of a
with
bitch!
That
I'm
like
in.
coat of paint.
You said Tsuridore Children.
Jay's got the Rolodex. That's
yeah.
Jay's got the Rolodex to be able to drop like titles. I'm just here for the vibes, man. And this one brings the vibes.
No, I respect it.
And I'm so glad that I drafted this in my 5th round. Yeah. It's très bien, very good.
Very good.
Yeah, I will continue this.
It's so cute, so
this, good. Borderline may be my anime of the season.
That's where I was going. You said it's the best anime of the season.
It's been a good year for rom-coms.
Is it better than DanDaDan?
For me, yes.
For this season, okay.
For me,
okay.
That's
I'm curious, and like we can talk about this a little later. If that's just because you've read the manga, right?
Yeah, exactly. This feels fresh. DanDaDan, like I've gone through the manga, so
yeah.
Okay,
like,
gotcha.
That's extremely fair.
As an
I feel like I had to address that.
Yeah.
I do
like
address that.
As an instant reaction to your question, I would put this above DanDaDan for me personally.
Okay. No, that's extremely valid. Like it could be as simple as like this is the show that everybody's talking about, and sometimes that's not always your favorite. I think I remember like the season Spy Family was going on. That wasn't the show I was looking forward to every week. It was a little thing called Aharon-san, and that was the one that was like making me feel joy every week.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's still my beating heart.
Yeah. I will be the lone grump.
Yeah,
who doesn't like
Jay,
you're incorrect.
Jay,
Aharon's the best. Season 2 coming soon.
You I thought we were brothers in arms for rom-coms.
No. He's got bad taste. Bad taste.
I couldn't. It's
so
like it just
good.
It just got too repetitive, and it was doing the same thing over and over again. Just didn't do it.
Yeah, well.
Magilumiere,
All right.
Girls,
Thanks for
Magical
inviting
Girls
me to
Incorporated.
Your podcast, Brutus.
That's right.
At 2?
Yeah.
Oh,
Magilumiere, Magical Girls Inc. is the next one. And
I've heard good things about
drafted
this
it, I think 4th. It's on Amazon, which is probably docking it points in people's books because it's just not a platform that's very good for watching anime on, to be honest with you, is the problem here. But like the actual anime itself looks quite good. It's done quite well, I'd say. Basically the plot is like this girl comes in and she's looking for a job and like can't get a job anywhere. A plight that, many people these days understand. Like it's really hard to get a job these days.
Preach. She's me for real.
Yeah, for real. And she essentially like stumbles ass backwards into this job as a magical girl because she's basically like a genius. Like she can read and research anything and she can like recall it like that. So she's like in this situation in an office where like, oh, there's like a basically a monster here, and they call the magical girls, and the magical girls like, oh, this is the worst monster than I thought it would be. I need backup, but I don't have time for backup. And she's like, can someone like help me out and run the tablet that runs my magical wand? Because like all the magic stuff in this is actually like technology, kind of.
I think that's
weird.
really such a cool.
It's a cool premise.
It's really cool. And so she helps her out. And she's like, how did you manage to use the operating system on this tablet? Like they're so difficult to use. How did you figure that out? She's like, oh, I read the manual for it just in like light reading not too long ago. She's kind of like OP in the fact that she studies so much. And then she basically
gets please nerf.
Yeah, exactly. And then she gets a job at this magical girl company, and it's hilarious because for many reasons it's hilarious. And then she kind of is like good at the job, but it's also like the whole company is like so like dysfunctional that it's like hilarity ensues kind of thing. And she's is it the best thing this season? No. Is it the best thing? Is it like the 5th best thing this season? Probably not. But it's a lot of fun. I'm going to continue watching it.
Okay.
I am enjoying it. It's the thing is it's so not fun to watch things on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's just not fun. It's just not fun. I don't know what's wrong with their platform.
I just got a free month of Amazon and I completely forgot that this was airing on it.
Yeah.
Let me just give kudos to like how good the transformation scenes look in the show.
Oh my god,
like, they look
so
incredible. Yeah.
They dumped all of their budget into those scenes specifically. I mean, they look so good.
Look, sometimes you gotta pick and choose.
And they're gratuitous.
Sometimes you gotta choose your battles, and they chose the right battle. It's the battle.
Funny thing
every week.
Is there's
it's the one you can use every week. You make the transformation look good, you can use it every week. That's what worked for Sailor Moon. Also, I can say...
The funny thing is it's like kind of self-aware too, because the main character, there's like a character in this who like designs their costumes and stuff. Like the people who work at the company are like Magical Girl fans, and the guy who like designs the costume and the technology and stuff, he sees this girl and he's like, oh my god, I got the perfect thing. And he like goes off in this thing, and he's like, and then like when they're transforming, like him and the CEO are like weeping because they're like, it's just so great seeing Magical Girl transformations.
Awesome.
Like, yes, it is great.
It's
awesome.
Very clear. Yeah, it's very clear that the mangaka behind this is just a big Magical Girl fan.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Plus, making it like magical office ladies, already good stuff.
Oh
yeah, it's a cool premise. Yeah. Now, Mike, going from magical girls to girls who can't be magicians.
The opposite. From magical girls to girls that cannot be magical girls. Stories of girls who couldn't be magicians is the next one I drafted, my 5th pick. And this one was kind of a dangerous pick at the time because it was basically like an unknown. It was it was basically the created because there was like a fan contest to submit ideas to Studio JC staff for an anime.
Really?
And this was the one that won. And then it disappeared off the map for like the longest time. And I found out about this because on AniList it has it listed. There's like in the forums thread, there's a thing called Forgotten Anime, and this was in there. And then basically just like, oh, we're actually doing this years later. Probably similar to that COVID thing you talked about earlier.
Submit your pitch.
It's
anime
very
contest. That's wild.
It was like you had to submit like a written story for it and kind of like a pitch. Yeah. The interesting thing is it's gorgeous. It looks really pretty. It's like very like watercolor and pastel. It's like very like
oh yeah, that's
chill.
The thing that always
It's
struck me about
there
the
seems to
trailers.
be
It's like
yeah, it's like no other anime you've seen in terms of like how it looks. Really, the only thing is it's just kind of like it doesn't have a lot going for it other than that. Like it basically so far has turned into like Magical Girl, Harry Potter. It's basically Little Witch Academia again, with like a little bit more going on behind it. The stuff, yeah, it's just not as good. So like, you know what? Let's save
we have
time
Little
here.
Witch Academia at home.
We have Little Witch Academia, but it kind of looks. It's not Trigger. It's like watercolor pastelized, and it just I don't know. It just hasn't holded my. I watched the first episode of it, and it just did not hold my interest for very much of it, other than to be like, wow, that's really pretty, but okay.
That's
so
disappointing, but that genuinely is fascinating to find out it was a contest winner. That's crazy.
Yeah, Google Project Anima, Anima, and that's you'll find out all about it. No, Anima. You're thinking of something else.
I'm very curious about that now. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's very cool. It's very cool.
It almost makes you want to like watch it just because it's like
check out an episode. It's cool. It's a cool concept.
It's kind of along the same lines of MechaUde, where it like had a very interesting startup. Yeah, even if it's not like the best thing of the season.
Yeah, very similar.
Okay, so that for
but
you
it just,
is kind of like
just didn't hold it for me.
That's fair.
Yeah, someone might like it though. Yeah.
Now, Jalian,
my friend, finish us off here.
The final show of the day. Please tell us about Terrified Teacher at Ghoul School.
Yeah, I think of Scooby-Doo every time I read this title because
oh god,
I was very Scooby-Doo.
Okay, if you didn't say it, I was gonna chime in and try and work a Scooby-Doo angle in there. So thank you for beating me to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this show is basically about like a shy human who gets a teaching job at a school full of ghouls.
So it's about a terrified teacher at Ghoul School.
Well, yeah, right. Like it's almost like the description is right in the title.
Look, they're not lying to you. There are shows that lie to you. No.
Hey, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is not one.
I appreciate honesty in a relationship.
To this show's credit, it does have a lot of interesting characters and a lot of fun like insight into these ghouls because they're all like Japanese, or they're all yokai from Japanese folklore. So like they have all these cool tidbits about them. And for that reason, like this show kind of gives off a little bit of Welcome to the Demon School Iruma-kun a little bit. Okay. But like
that's how you have been pitching that one to me. I know that.
But like as I'm watching it, it kind of gives off like we have Iruma-kun at home a little bit. Because
disappointing, but not surprised to hear that. I won't lie.
Yeah, it's just like as much as I want to like this show, it just feels a little bit too generic for what it's like. For a show that has so many cool yokai, it's so by the book and generic, and it just
that's too bad.
Yeah,
yeah. It does have the rare cute boys doing cute things tag that you don't see very often. Which
this is
say.
True. This is true.
Yeah.
It does have some, like I said, like I like the characters in this show. It's just like it's just not anything special.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, to be fair, like this is literally the least popular show we've talked about today. So
yeah.
What is actually? I'm curious. On that list you're looking at, what are like the bottoms of that list?
The bottom. Nui Story 2, Pochars, Sylvanian Families, Freya, no piece of secret. Like it's just truly, it's like little
just
kids.
Like bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, it's usually like little kids.
Man, that's not
and then
even
like
bottom.
usually a couple idol shows.
That's scraping. That's.
Yeah. They're usually pretty brutal.
That's
Pui
underneath
Volcar,
the barrel.
movie, Thunderbolt Fantasy.
Yeah. Those are the shows that they like tape to the bottom of the barrel to like line it so it has at least something in there.
Also shouting out my friend Patrick. Why are you not simulcasting Thunderbolt Fantasy, you bastards? You did the first seasons. Let the people have the Taiwanese puppets. That's Gen Urobuchi having a good time and playing with his puppet pals. The people.
I know nothing about it other than their puppets, but yeah, give them their puppets.
Yeah. Give us
Give
our
the people
puppets.
their puppets.
Yeah, people deserve puppets. Promptly.
Hashtag give us puppets.
Puppets for the people.
Promptly.
Yeah.
Puppets
for
promptly.
people. Puppets for people. Let's get that. Let's open a charity drive. Hashtag puppets for people.
No.
No, I will not do that.
I hear Puppets for People would put on a sick Avenue Q production.
Yeah.
Jay, are you continuing?
Oh yeah, Jay, are you continuing?
I think out of all the no. I think this is one of two shows on my draft list that I'm dropping.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all of the shows that we're going to talk about.
No, that's all the shows airing this season.
That's all the shows ever. Forever.
Yeah, that's
until the end of time.
See, we say that's all the shows airing this season, and then you're going to see, like, the most popular show is I Can't Believe My Elf Bride is able to crit somebody with 999 stat points or whatever the hell.
My Stepmom Can't Possibly Be This Cute is the highest rated show of the season.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Coming to High Dive next season.
Yeah, exactly.
Andrew, tell us about DubTalk.
Yeah.
Jay, thank you for inviting me, and thank you guys for having me. My name is Andrew, aka Classy Spartan. You can find me over on the Twitter and the Blue Skies at MangaMan9000 or ClassySpartan.bluesky.social. The DubTalk podcast you can find over on YouTube, where we do episodes bi-weekly now. Our seasonal awards thing shall be coming up soon, so I'm excited about that. A lot of good dubs came out this year. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us also on Podbean. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to support us, we do have a Patreon where people can vote every couple of months to get an episode of their choice. And we also have a Ko-fi if you want to do a one-time donation. I'm also on another podcast called Podcast O&A on the Surreal Resolution website, where I talk about anime news with some buddies of mine as well. So I have done a lot of podcasts in my spare time.
Very veteran podcaster.
So I appreciate you guys very much being able to fit me in with my own packed schedule of podcasts and my weird work hours as well. So I appreciate the invitation. This has been a ton of fun, and it's been very interesting getting a camera podcast. That's a bit of a new one for me, I gotta say.
I'm glad you weren't scared off by the camera, because it scares people usually.
Speaking of camera things, I want to shout out to my girlfriend, Lilac Anime Reviews, spelled R-E-V-U-E. If you've seen Review Starlight, that's how you spell review. She's going to start streaming on her personal Twitch account as of this Friday, and she got this room all nice and decked out in Technicolor streamer lights, and got the nice big ass anime collection all nice and ready so she can start her streams soon. So I'm supporting my girlfriend who's going to be starting her streams again. She's also a member of the DubTalk podcast too, by the way. She's the boss lady of the podcast. So that's awesome. Her baby. Then we met up, and now we're living together, and I love her very much.
Couple that podcasts together stays together.
True.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. That doesn't sound true, but I appreciate the vote of confidence. Thank you.
I'm just saying nice words. Don't worry.
Well, we're Canadian. We like to be nice.
We like to be nice. Okay, I got a few. You're very welcome. We got a few things to say. So next week, actually, we've got our manga review coming up. That is for City from 2016. Mm-hmm. We've also got anime reviews coming up. Your Lie in April is our next anime review, followed by Ponpo the Cinephile. I know you guys reviewed that one. We've also got our listener's choice coming up, so you can vote on that. So our choices for that one are Vivi Fluoride Eye Song, Serial Experiments Lane, and Texonalize. They're all cyberpunk shows. Go figure.
I do believe.
I wonder who's the rest of the cyberpunk.
Yeah, I wonder who picked the cyberpunk one. Oh my god.
I do believe you did look into the DubTalk podcast, but I like to believe you literally just were like, I'm just going to throw on the dart. I know you did.
That would be in keeping with Cole, actually.
I know.
But no, we Trust me, we research our guests.
I look into my guests. I make sure we know what we're getting into. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to another episode of AniPro. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend about us. If you really like us, why don't you consider supporting us on Patreon like these lovely people: Mr. Family Guy 36, Elijah Wood, Brain Dead B-Dog, Peach, Frama, Kratos, Just Juzz, Mog, Free Ren's Feet, Antonio Bustos, Uncle of Light, and Super Mexi. By supporting us on Patreon, you got access to all sorts of perks, and it really helps out the show. We're also on social media at AniProPod. And please join our Discord community to keep up with us and other listeners. Links to everything is in the description and at our website, AniProPod.com. You know what? I'll lead us in a round of bye-byes because I don't want to throw it to the new guy. I'll scare him. Yeah.
Don't
let me
scare
just
him.
say...
He'll run away like a bunny.
Wait. Does he even know that we say bye-bye before we go bye-bye?
Do you even know about the bye-bye?
I don't know about
Did
the
Jay tell you about the
bye-bye. I just
bye-bye?
wanted to take a second to give a shout-out to the hustle of Freeren's Feet for paying real cash money to support somebody and force them to say the phrase Freeren's Feet every week. Honestly, hell of a good cook.
I'll say anything they want if they give me a little bit of money.
Yeah. What was the one? Nina Tucker.
Nina Tucker's best waifu.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen's best anime. You know what, patrons? If you want Cole to say something ridiculous, do it.
That's
change your name.
Just DM Cole in the Discord. He'll change your name.
Anyway, let me just say thank you again to Andrew for coming on this week.
Thank you very much.
I would also like to say, as we do at the end of every episode of AniPro, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.